No more bad government in Nigeria. In other words, the only media that have been consistent speaking against the bad government and for the purpose for reformers. Niger what yo? No more bad government. Niger what? No more bad government. Niger what? No more bad government. The only media that have been speaking. No more bad government. The voice of the voiceless. No more bad government. No more bad government. For the poor, no more bad government. Niger what? No more bad government. Niger what media? No more bad government. No more bad government. No more bad government. In Nigeria, no more bad government. No more bad government. No more bad government. The only media, no the number one media in Nigeria, no more bad government. That have been speaking against government. No more bad government. Niger what? No more bad government. Niger what you? The voice of the voiceless. The voice of the voiceless. Voice for the voiceless. Voice for the voiceless. Niger what media? Voice for the voiceless. Niger watch media. The only media that have been speaking against bad government. Being consistency since 1944. Voice for the voiceless. Voice for the voiceless.
This
Voice for the voiceless. 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 Niger watch you. We have been seeing all you guys have been doing, and he recommending to everyone in Nigeria, saying that you guys are the number one. Niger what you?
waiting the commission and how the work is going on there of a team. Commission and how the work is going on there. I know the entire household. I say, make a quick do this one for now. My people, let's watch this video together.
You all saw the video of the commissioning. They said 30 kilometers. First of all, I expected that the president would be on the road alongside the minister. To be driving along the kilometer stretch, they said they have completed, at least to give people confidence. But instead, what I saw was that they all boxed themselves in a conference room and they were impressing themselves by showing drone footage of whatever they said they have done at the projector screen. But I am here on the road now, 3rd of June, 5 days after that ceremony. I am here to show you that the 30 kilometers they claim that they have done.
The highway already has 30 kilometers completed, nearly 20 kilometers from Victoria Island eastward towards Lekki Corridor, and nearly 10 kilometers from Eleko heading westward.
20 kilometers they said from VI to Eleko Corridor. The remaining 10 kilometers they said from Eleko inward. Gentlemen and ladies, I am at chainage 41.230 kilometers and Eleko junction is chainage 47.5. If you do the subtraction, apart from my odometer showing 6 kilometers and a little above it, because I drove in through a community road, this chainage is showing at this point where I am standing chainage 41.230. If you do the math, what you have is 6.2 something kilometers. That simply means that the claim that they have completed 10 kilometers from Eleko into this place is not true. Today is 3rd of June. You can come in tomorrow, 4th of June, come and do your own. And by the way, did they just do the commissioning in order to give us that impression and everybody disappears? Because I can't even see the paver again. Have they stopped work? So in case you are thinking, oh, they have done 30 kilometers, I want to drive from VI, I want to go to Eleko. They are not together. Oh. They are disjointed like different pieces. Some kilometers there, some kilometers here. That's what they did. You are coming from Eleko, you just reach this point. Chaka, middle of nowhere. Point two that I expected us to be discussing is that they have said that by December, they are going to be tolling this road. And they are projecting around 3K per vehicle. We do not know for certain yet how many tolling points are going to be between VI and Eleko. If there are two, that simply means 6,000 from VI to Eleko. And if you are going back another 6,000, that's 12,000 naira. No fuel inclusive, no other cost inclusive. And if you are a salary earner, what is minimum wage again? In a month, you would have spent how much just to go and come? Although it has its own benefit too, it would have relieved the Lekki-Epe Expressway of huge traffic or the volume of traffic on that route. It would have done a lot of things to, yes, it will link eventually, if the claim is true, that they want to truly link this road to Calabar. They would have saved a lot of hours in travel time. But if speculations are right, that the only thing the federal government wanted to achieve is just to link the Eko Atlantic City with Dangote Refinery and the Lekki Free Trade Zone, as well as the Lekki Deep Sea Port, then congratulations, the federal government has succeeded, because by December, according to what I'm seeing, they are likely to complete this section of it. Then congratulations. But we are going to continue to monitor afterwards to be sure that this is actually going to reach Calabar. Another point I expected us to be discussing is what are the costs in real sense of it that this road is to Nigerians. First of all, do you know that this is not the original alignment of the road? The original alignment of the road is actually inside. You can see the forest. Yes, the original alignment is there. So they use the original alignment to claim land inside that forest, and it is still there. And they realigned the road to this place. Do you know how many people, estate investors, who bought land here, including homeowners, those whose retirement savings were used to buy portions of land here, that they have to move? They were swept completely off. Some of them started protesting at the time. At the point, we didn't hear from some of them again. Some of them fell sick. Some of them developed high blood pressure. Some of them, I don't even hear from them again. I don't know.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to every one of you. Thank you very much for your time with us today. Today's Wednesday, 4th June, 2025. I appreciate you all, my people, mother of all mommy diaspora. Good evening to you, mommy. Thank you very much for all that you do. I appreciate you always, always, always. Thank you very much, Abu Azi. God bless you. Thank you very much for all that you do. I appreciate every one of you right there. Just joining us right now. I have something to say quickly so that we can move on. As you can see, we came in late. You know, my hands have been so occupied. Wisdom Lucky, it's good to have you on the show. Good evening to you. Prince Aka, I can see you. Madam Peg, good evening to you, man. Thanks very much for joining us. Mr. Justin Emmanuel, thank you very much. I appreciate you always. Some say Scott Music, I can see you right there. Thank you very much. Frank, I can see you right there. Good evening to you. Luciano, I can see you. Discussion Channel TV, it's right there with Oriemi Adu, is right there as well. Sabovo Konga in the building today. God bless you all, my people. Good evening, good evening, good evening to every one of you. Then we have more people right there. Timmy DB is with us. Emmanuel Shooks is with us. Upright TV is right there with us. Thank you, my people. God bless you all. Mike Akinbare, I can see right there. Ima, I can see you. God bless you all, my people. Just do your part by pressing on the like button. Help us to share and take our voices far. If you can't, press on the dollar sign. Encourage what we do here. Yes, this particular video was a late one from all our rebroadcasted, or rather our pre-recorded videos today. You know, my main concern, because in case you want to watch the full video, you can go to Nigeria Watch. We already uploaded it, but my main concern is this one here. Let me take it to the reason why I'm coming in now, so that you can see where's the meanings. I don't want to drive. Okay, here. You can see, okay, let's just listen to that white man. That Oyibo man.
The highway already has 30 kilometers completed. Nearly 20 kilometers from Victoria Island eastward towards Lekki Corridor.
You see, for where Oyibo constantly knows, say, this country is useless to the extent that corruption is order of the day. For Oyibo to wear coat, and have press on his front and give this false information, the same information this Oyibo know that he can never in his life do in his own country. That shows the level how our leaders have destroyed this country. Because if you check what that Oyibo was saying, it was scripted. They told him what to do. This is your share. This is your money, allegedly. It's very, very unfortunate to see that corruption everywhere. Nobody is talking. None of the elite is talking, speaking against it directly. None of the religious leaders is talking, speaking against it directly. None of the traditional rulers is talking, none of them speaking against it directly. We are living in a country right now where corruption is gradually, in fact, it's not gradually anymore, speedily eating us all dry. In fact, before they used to do this thing of corruption or whatever, embrace and practice it stylishly. They are not doing it to our faces now that go to hell and burn to ashes. You can't do anything. In every ramification, for real, Nigerians can't do anything. We just clap. You see our satanic comedians, skit makers, they do skit with it or they make jokes with it. This is the level we have reduced ourselves to. Corruption is now the order of the day. Oibo, they announce and they tell us, because then our president went there to commission these deceitful projects. You now see, it's not even up to the 30 kilometer where these people talk. Not even up to. How long are we going to continue like this? Now, so go your the ball blue, your they go like that. Abi? It's not even up to. I have other stuff that I need to read here, maybe to tally this up. For those of you who think that, okay, we don't know when Najawas will pass his monologue and all that. Yes, this is what you get sometimes when you are not sure when I will be coming or speaking. You know, you are going to play back again later on. Now so it's supposed to be. Because some of them go wait till I don't play all video finish, they will come in. But unfortunately, you are going to miss out. Certainly, you are missing out. But I would like to quickly take what I have here. I'm just preparing some articles for you here to tally what I'm currently saying now, to tally it up. You know, guys, press on the like button as I'm doing my part right here. You know, when we are running this broadcast, in fact, our presentation, our monologue are very, very hectic. It's not easy the way you are seeing it from distance. Until we are done, our panelists take over from us. Is back-to-back work right here. But meanwhile, I would like to quickly put this on the screen. Just bear with me. I'm almost there. Okay, while I'm preparing this for you, I'll just go on a 2 seconds break. All right, we are back again. I'd like us to take this first one. As you can see right there on the screen, you know, what's saying, bear with me, guys. Let me take this off screen. Good. As you can see right there, someone else went there. I spent the whole weekend looking at the approved 2025 federal budget, you know, in all together. A complete mess. I'm being polite. Everywhere you look, it's solar street lights, inverter, classroom, repairs, then cash grants to constituents. I saw ministries building roads, classrooms, palaces, etc. No imagination, you will see 200 million naira to buy keke, see project duplicated. For instance, renovation and furnishing of artists, hostels in Abuja for the Ministry of Art and Culture is duplicated 6 times, same amount, same budget code. God. The Secretary of the Government of the Federation Budget read like a father Christmas list. The bulk of constituency projects are in the Secretary of FGN budget. A few examples. Then it went on. 1, 800 million for honorarium and sitting allowance. 2, 150 million for supply and furnishing of royal fathers' homes in Gombe. 3, uncountable amount for food items. 4, uncountable solar projects. There is no coordination, no strategy. It's just individual amounts in sections to spend. I give you another example. Ministry of Foreign Affairs is spending 300 million on provision of relief items and capacity development for IDPs in the Northeast. Bear with me, guys. In the Northeast. Then, this country, how did we get here? Why is the foreign ministry spending money to take care of IDP inside Nigeria? Question. Would that not be area of responsibility of the internal ministry of humanitarian ministry? Question. It is the cash grant budget item that scares me. Just so you understand, there are insertions, some to the amount of 300 million naira, where a legislator is saying he wants federal fund to share as a grant. So what is humanitarian ministry doing? Then he rounded up here by saying, the only reason a senator will ask to be given 300 million as grant, but not a month to the mean of humanitarian affairs, is because a grant needs less accountability. It is not a road senator can give out 10 million, pocket 290 million, and call it a day, which is true. 10 million is even too big. Giving a senator 300 million naira for a grant, he can just give out 1 million naira and pocket the remaining 299 million. That's it. Simple as ABCD, and because it cannot be traced. That's why you see luxury homes everywhere with Rolls Royce, yet zero consumption at household level. Oh, I forgot. He will give 1 million to indie Twitter to abuse anyone that asks questions. Your suffering is locally manufactured, not imported. Sorry, my brother, not just Twitter, they give 1 million to. YouTubers, Instagram, TikTok, they are everywhere. Facebook. Yes, it's because you are more into Twitter. That's why you thought they give money to people on Twitter to insult you. There's a lot of them that they are not just insulting me on YouTube. They try to attack my platform every day. Many of them send me satanic set of deceitful emails, like I'm a baby. Somebody that's been in the media for more than a decade. I understand how it works. You will be sending me some deceitful, satanic emails so that I will click on it. Then that will not affect my platform. Like, I don't get sense. Me that is educating my followers that don't click on any kind of links that you don't know. In this postmodernism of era of AI, artificial intelligence, where people can even use your mother's face to scam you. People can use your wife, husband, children's face to scam you. People click on links anyhow. They say, watch this one. You just see the face right there. They say, Joseph there, yeah. You just click on this and Joseph. Then you are finished on earth and in heaven. Now, me, when I want to send satanic, deceitful emails. Because I don't complain on this all the time here, my people. This is what I get all the time. Today, I've received more than 7. Every day. They send me, the email will look so real just for you to click on it and fall in the scamming process. Because these are the people that they paid to deceive you, to allow the satanic, gullible Nigerians to continue to insult you on the comment section. That's why we don't give second chance. If you insult us on the comment section, you are blocked on the earth and the heaven. There's no need for me to keep you there. Then you open a fake account, you come back, you'll now be watching like a casted idiotic elements. Now, so you come to watch. Comment rubbish. I and my admins, we will block you on earth and in heaven. Not be here. Like two, now he came into my panel yesterday on the backstage. You know, since I know they complain about people attacking us anymore, right? When I'm surprised, maybe they don't attack Nigerians again, not they complain because I was educated not to address them anymore. Two, now came in yesterday, two. First one came in. Immediately I posted the link. The last one came in when we were giving our final submission, when our brother just came in, White Panther. Our brother Emmanuel. Listen, we are bigger than that. When you say you want to go attack and deceive, how much are they paying you guys when you know we are speaking truth to power? Look our life today in Nigeria. Nothing is working. Every other countries are working. Now only Nigeria, not they work. Only Nigeria. Look at the budget. That's what I put on your screen right there to see. It's so disheartening. It's so sorry to see that the Nigerians are all docile, both home and in diaspora. The ones who did diaspora will say, when they pray. Don't worry, God will help Nigeria. Where you are getting old, or madam, you are getting old. You don't be a day. You will be a demand. You don't be a pa. You are still saying we should be praying. God will help Nigeria one day. As how? As how? Many of you don't want to talk because you don't want to die, and you are still dying. You see the funny part of it? Yes. Let's assume since Buhari regime till now, many people that have died that did not talk, or many of them that were educated not to talk, say, no, be careful, may not fall into their problem. Many of them have died. Simple as ABCD. But still, all of them, they fear to speak. Nobody want to talk. Nobody want to say anything. How long are we going to continue like this? It's crazy. But I would like us to move on. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to every one of you. I might likely be giving more monologue later on. But I'd like us to listen to what the videos that I have for you guys. Press on the like, help us to share, press on the dollar sign. If you can, encourage what we do here.
Who are, having this conversation. I think we shouldn't really take hook, line, and sinker. Some of this framing of the conversation, as mighty men and women of the pen, we must also interrogate those who make these allegations. For instance, when Amaechi says he's hungry, Amaechi must be interrogated. What does it really mean? Does it mean he's struggling to provide food, at his table? Or is he hungry for something else? As I said in my statement, is he really, food he's hungry for, or hungry for, just, naked power? Because he's accustomed to, having power over nearly half a century of his life. Amaechi just turned 60. For 25 years, about 25 years of his life, meaning that, from the age of 35, this, man, that young, was already a dependent on state resources. And, I don't see a commensurate, impact that Amaechi has made, whether as speaker or as governor or as a super minister, to, again, demonstrate 25 years of, this opportunity to make changes. He talks about how he was, his passport was taken in Germany and all of that. You see, when an ordinary Nigerian says that, I can relate. But when Amaechi, who has had the opportunity to really, put down his footprint, whether it's, in pushback against poverty or in accelerating development in our country, didn't do so, is the one lamenting, like, this ordinary Nigerian who traveled to Germany and had experience at the airport. I'm not impressed.
Exactly. Thank you very much, Grace. God's grace for that. You say, who do we blame? Nigeria watch our news media wearing coat and tie, sitting in the studio doing nothing. I remember you were paying workers to go on the street for investigative journalism during the time of Obaseki and all that to give us proof of what Obaseki was doing. I did that throughout the whole 4 years. Now, it was just a concerned Nigerian that went to that satanic Calabar Coastal Road to give us this information. None of our media outlets, I'm talking about mainstream media, that could leave their office to go investigate this thing. Even though they can't dare to report it because all of them have been compromised. They can't dare. Even though they can go there, but they can't report it. They have been compromised. It's crazy. Do you see how Wike being interviewed on a call on a press conference all the time? The last one he did and all that, allegedly. Do you know that after they off the camera, all of them will be going home with brown envelope? Allegedly. So you are telling me that people like that, those kind of journalists should go and investigate what is going on in Nigeria to come report it to you? Impossible. Very, very impossible. Let's move on.
And actually, that's actually very disappointing for a man of his standing to, come in public to make those kinds of statements. Look, I am also, a democratic operator. I was one of those who fought hard for our democracy. So yes, he was a former governor, he was a former minister, but some of us were in the trenches.
Well,
we were willing to lay our lives down.
Pardon me, quickly to follow up.
In defense of our democracy.
Are you saying that all that Mr. Amaechi has was gotten?
And you all also need to interrogate this, individual.
Mr. Moka, can you hear me?
Say so, not because they're in the opposition.
Yeah, just quickly, before my colleague comes in, I need to get clarification on what you said.
Yes.
Are you saying that all that Mr. Amaechi has was amassed from government, from public funds?
I have not said anything like that. All I've said is that as a public officer for nearly 25 years, 24 years, to be specific, that Amaechi has been in office and therefore has been a beneficiary, consistent beneficiary for nearly a quarter of a century of government, patronage and, living off of the, benefits of his office. Even if it's just his salary, that's a man who has been employed consistently for 25 years. And I'm saying that, there's no commensurate show of what he has contributed to tackle poverty in this country, to tackle hunger, and certainly to bring Nigeria to development like the president is, criticizing, has done in 2 years. He hasn't even done anything close to that.
The National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, APC. Welcome to the morning show, Felix Moka. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, the great doctor.
Well,
Thank you for having me.
I hope you had my very long introduction about the concerns of those who are praising President Tinubu at midterm and those who say that he is weaponizing poverty. In fact, only yesterday, Rotimi Amaechi, former minister, former governor, had to say that the president is violating the rule of law and that, in fact, he must give account to Nigerians on the issue of fuel subsidy savings and so on and so forth. You know the narrative. We even issued a statement. I don't want to quote your own statement to you. What's your take?
Thank you so much, Doctor. Now, this president in 2 years, as I have maintained, has done more than, all of the presidents before him in the direction of reordering our priorities, tackling some of the most acerbic challenges, faced by the economy of our country. He has decided that, it's not about just, looking for cheap popularity, but willing to do the tough things that may momentarily seem unpopular, but are decidedly crucial to the long-term good health of our country's economy. So all of the hue and cry by members of the opposition, whether it's Rotimi Amaechi or former Vice President Atiku Abubakar or former Kaduna Governor Malam El-Rufai, don't begin to cut it. The president is focused on dealing with matters that guarantee the long-term health of our country. Now, you see, what is funny is that all of these voices put together don't even begin to speak to what they think this president should be doing different from what he's doing. Not one of them has come forward with any kind of, informed prescription of what the president should be doing, because they know, in their hearts, outside of just politicking, that the president is doing exactly what any right-thinking president would do. They know that. This morning, just earlier, a couple of hours ago, I had an appearance this morning at 7 a.m. on Channels TV, side by side with Mr. Yunus Atanko, the Obidati, spokesperson. And a question was put to him to say, look, in all of your criticism of this president, what exactly would your principal, have done differently? He was very short in his answer. I won't go about saying what he said. But the point I'm making is that it's not enough. When I ask you, Dr. Bati, what's your name? And you tell me I'm not Felix Morka. That is not an answer to the question. Tell me your name is Dr. Bati, that we know. Telling me you're not Felix Morka is not an offer of information about who you are. Now, when these characters in the opposition decide that all they have to offer Nigerians as an alternative is to condemn, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his policies, and they think that that's sufficient to sway these nearly 300 million Nigerians who are smart and discerning, that this president has not done well, you see, I think they need to go back to the table and think more clearly. As far as we're concerned, this president, whether it's the 30-kilometer launch that you referenced, why not? When have we ever, as a country, embarked on a project that critical and that ambitious to build a coastal highway, round, through from Lagos all the way to Calabar? We haven't had that. We have had the Lagos-Ore Expressway, and we know, being just the single, artery of, road infrastructure that links, the southwest to the southeast, we know the pressure and the burden that has imposed on, transportation of goods and services. We have a president that is saying, look, time has come to do something drastically different, to set Nigeria straight and position this country for growth and sustainable progress. By embarking on that, even if it's 1 kilometer that was, launched, it is, again, an acknowledgement of progress. And there's nothing wrong, Dr. Abati, with acknowledging progress. Nobody is saying that the 700-kilometer road has been fully built. 30 kilometers is a step along that way. And, inch by inch, kilometer by kilometer, with time, one day, you and I, hopefully, I look forward to a day when we both go to some of those, beautiful carnivals in Calabar, and you and I, Dr. Abati, will be in a vehicle cruising down on that road to Calabar, seamlessly. I think that, we must wish our country well and
Absolutely.
Be optimistic beyond politics and beyond this whole, drama of the opposition. We must, again, celebrate some of these milestones that this president has enacted.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Moka. You've used the drama of the opposition. At some point as well, you also said that the opposition has nothing more to offer beyond condemning the president, and you've said that you think they should go back to the drawing board. So my question is this the argument for state capture? Because some of the criticism that is coming is that there's state capture specifically where INEC is concerned. There are some reports that saying over 70 groups have attempted to register their political parties and that INEC is just sitting on them. And the assumption is that this is from a directive to stifle opposition voices that are trying to register parties that can pose to be some type of opposition or, legitimate opposition to this presidency. What's your take on this conversation around state capture in the electoral institutions?
Idle speculation. Vimbai, look, we can do better than this. INEC is, a statutory institution created by law, handed a clear mandate to regulate whether it's political parties or to manage our electoral process. We cannot second guess that. INEC will deal with applications for registration of political parties based on legal criteria. It's not a political process. And INEC is a statutory authority, meaning that INEC is a compellable agency. If there's anyone who has attempted to register a political party who has been unfairly denied that facility to register, and they believe that INEC has ignored clear legal standards which they have met to register their party. Look, I'm a lawyer. and a senior lawyer for that matter, if I were in that position, I would take out a writ of mandamus to compel INEC to do its job. It's not enough for people to just bandy allegations around. Somebody wants to register a political party, has not met the standards, has not met the requirements, and comes, to a national television or to, put out a statement to say that, look, we're being denied. Nobody is being denied. If you are sat, you must prove. If you think INEC is denying you unfairly, or that INEC is pandering to some, executive or whatever, instruction or manipulation, you must show evidence of that. And it's not that hard to show evidence of such a thing. So it's not enough to just come to Nigeria and say, look, we're being denied, when in fact you may not have met even the simple threshold requirement that qualifies you to be registered. And you think INEC will register you because, INEC wants to be, to pander to some, sentiments or emotions. That is not how it works. It doesn't work like that in Nigeria, and it doesn't work like that anywhere else. So I think that those who make that suggestion should really go back and figure out what they're doing wrong. If they think they've met their standards, like I said, they need to, take on INEC. They should go to court and compel INEC to do its job. That's INEC has statutory enforceable, duties that they should perform. So I don't buy that, I think
Mr. Moka,
don't buy that, quite frankly.
Mr. Moka, Rufai Hussaini here.
Yes. Yes, my dear brother.
Mr. Moka.
Rufai, how are you?
Very well. You said that the other political parties have not brought forward any, objection or any road plan of some sort or road map of their own ideas and solutions to the problem at hand. What you said is not correct. I will refer you to Punch newspaper, 29th May 2024, where Atiku Abubakar offered 6 ways to remodel Tinubu's policy. And you can check that reportage on that document. And where he pointed out his own point of view as regards the reforms, saying that they were not properly implemented, they were not properly addressed. Take, for instance, what he said in that document. Number 1, he talked about the fact that we have floated the currency, but we've not had commensurate effects because the way these policies were being marshaled out, that the benefit of floating the currency was supposed to gain advantage with our local productive industry. But we are not gaining that advantage because productivity is at an all-time low. What are the ancillary things, what are the ancillary, things to add to that productive capacity to be able to make us gain the benefit of a cheap naira, as it were? Number 1. Secondly, you talked about the coastal road that has a lot of transparency problem. A minister from the APC government sat down here just last week and affirmed to us that there was no independent competitive bidding process, that the contract was given to a company because they had worked in the past as regards a project that centered around the states where the president was governor, which is a violation of many laws of competitive bidding in the country. He said it, not my words. I also did ask for cost per kilometer of the project concluded. He said he will have to iterate the cost. But he said the first project cost they iterated was supposed to be 4 billion per kilometer, but I'm asking for the concluded cost per kilometer, which is a case of transparency issues. Leading up to that coastal road, we also talked about EIA and other sundry problems around the coastal road. The increase in electricity tariff, which my colleague Vimbai reported today, has led to people that can even afford increased tariff to go to other forms and go off the grid. So these are the multiple problems on ground. And you can also check that reportage of 29 May 2024, where Atiku Abubakar responded to all these things boldly, sir.
I take it that you're done with
yes,
your
sir.
question.
Yes, sir.
My dear brother Rufai, May 2024, if the date you cited is correct, was just about 1 year of the president's inauguration as President of the Federal Republic. And Atiku Abubakar, quite frankly, I'm not familiar with, whatever documentation or suggestions of alternatives that, Atiku Abubakar, made. But what I do know, and I would think what Nigerians know, is that Mr. Alhaji Abubakar, the former vice president, in his campaign for the office of president in the 2023 electoral cycle, was very clear that he would take out, fuel subsidy. Rufai, there's no romantic way to remove any system of dependency of anything. If you bring your friend to live in your house for 10 years without rent-free, and you provide him breakfast, lunch, and dinner, the day you decide that you need that space and you need him out to go commercial and rent his own space, I bet you that individual, even if he doesn't tell you, will feel like you are putting him out into the cold, because he's become accustomed to living, life in your home for free. There's no way, all of these stories, told by everybody and by anybody, whether it's Atiku Abubakar or Peter Obi or, even my bosom friend, Professor Patu told me about how, President Tinubu could have, done the subsidy in a way that is, very, romantic. And look, there's no such thing. There's no such thing. It's about relative impact. What is important is that there was the need, the real self-evident need for us to tackle those problems. And I think that in fairness to even some of the opposition figures, they too were very clear that they would do the same thing. Now, this revisionist idea, what you call alternative, suggestions by Atiku Abubakar, now because, in hindsight, 1 year later, you are not the president, you campaigned to be president, you were not elected, and the man who became president is enacting policies that, clearly, are superior even to your attempt to, suggest, a policy position. You now begin to second guess and, talk about, maybe you should have done, 6 months later or 3 months later or done with this and that. Look, all that is neither here nor there. What we are dealing with today, and I think that the result of this president's, bold strategic intervention, demonstration of political will to tackle that elephant in the room that was sitting there for decades, that no president before him had the audacity and the political will to tackle, that I think is, worth celebrating, because it set this country at a fundamental level straight. It's provided opportunity for us to rise beyond all of this, quibblings and tweaking of, systems. Point is, our economy is doing better, never has been stronger. The macroeconomic evidence is there. You, on this station, I watch you every day and I hear you, say them. But, yes, whether we want to acknowledge them the way we should acknowledge them is a different matter. But, I think everyone is clear. International institutions are also clear about this. And at a micro level, we're beginning to see, clear evidence of progress. 2 years, we're talking midterm here. We're not talking 4 years yet. 2 years on, I think that, Mr. Rufai, I think we are citizens of Nigeria. And I think we all, no matter where we talk from or where we stand, we love this country. That's an assumption we must grant to everybody. Okay. This president, for example, could have said, I'm going to peg the Naira value to $1 to 1 Naira. And if I have 200 Naira in my pocket, all of a sudden I have $200. I can get on my phone and order something from Amazon or somewhere else, for a lot. But you know what? That will make him very popular. Okay. He has chosen to tackle the problems realistically rather than simply, take a shot at popularity like other presidents have done.
Okay, Mr. Moka, there were many things I talked about. I also talked about the lack of transparency in the coastal road. What would you say about a minister saying that a project was given to one contractor because of competence and not giving others the fairness of competitive bidding? Costing is another one that we've gone back and forth. And with due respect, let me finish, Mr. Moka. You said the economy is good.
Sure.
At 25% inflation rate, World Bank projection of 37% inflation rate, things are bad. You said the economy is good. The economy that was handed to President Tinubu was over over 200 billion. Today is less than 200, about 199 billion thereabouts. You said the economy is good. More people have jumped into poverty, have been swept into poverty. Inflation is real, and the social factors are not any better. Insecurity has had an uptick. These are also other facts on ground. So tell me, a government that didn't employ transparency, what would you have done for a bidding process for the coastal road? Would you have just given it to one person rather than calling others to at least have an open bidding? And the cost involved, these are the things we are saying. That's what a lot of people are saying.
Rufai, you see, I listened to parts of your interaction with the Honorable Minister for Works, His Excellency Dave Umahi. I listened to parts of that conversation, and he gave you his explanations for that. And I'm, not being the Minister of Works, I'm not going to sit here and, again, revisit a discussion you had with him. But he gave, in my understanding of your discussion with him, his explanation for how that process was determined. And, if there are, consequential issues you want to take up with him, please do. But as a citizen and listening to your discussion with him, I don't see what was, untoward for a program of that magnitude. You have said, even on that show, you acknowledge the size and the complexity of that road. I mean, this is one superhighway that we have not done and clearly have no experience of doing in the history of our country. So, again, officials who are appointed to, do job like the minister is, saddled with, they are the ones who must make decisions, and you have a right to, come to them with, criticism or observations about what they've done or how they have not done it. That's within your remit as well, as a citizen and as a journalist. I won't, say more on that. But the point is that I don't think there's a question as to whether or not the economy today is stronger than it has ever been. Everyone, all those who should know, are saying it in very eloquent, terms. Whether it's Modi, whether it's, all of the other rating agencies, globally, the World Bank, the IMF, everybody acknowledges. And locally, we're seeing that result. Look, Rufai, I think, let's not set ourselves back in conversation, looking at, framing these questions the way we are. We can say, look, we can acknowledge, we can, agree that things were really horrible and they're getting better, and that the markers look good. Yes, are we exactly where you and I would agree we need to be? I don't think, we can say yes. But we cannot decide that because there are challenges in the system, who said these problems were not created in 2 years? They have been with us for years. So when you want to eradicate poverty like Amaechi and his friends, were saying the other day at Amaechi's, former governor of River State's birthday celebration, that the president was weaponizing poverty. That's just absurd. Like I said in my statement, 25 years almost, they didn't, eradicate poverty, and so I think it's unfair to expect this president in 2 years, in midterm, to eradicate poverty. That's really unconscionable.
Felix Maka,
to suggest.
Felix Maka, we need to go. But
Sorry,
very
Doctor.
briefly,
Yes, Doctor.
in less than
Yes,
a
Doctor.
minute,
Yes.
Are you really confident, as the chairman of your party pointed out, that 2027 is a done deal for the APC? Because in your statement, in what every other member of your party has been saying, you guys are so dismissive of the opposition, the coalition, Professor Tomi's shadow government. It's like, 2027 is already here and APC is already back in power. Are you that confident that it's just a done deal, a walkover? Briefly, please.
Yes, Doctor. Look, it's not about confidence. It's not about walkover. Nobody is taking anything for granted. We're working hard to win the confidence of Nigerians and to win their.
Win which confidence? Which of the confidence these people trying to win? Which one? This man just mentioned that the current economy is the strongest economy. We can't argue that. in the history of Nigeria. Not be so you talking just now, or my interpretation might be wrong, but I'll focus on the strongest economy so far. That things used to be bad, but it's getting better. How? As I'm speaking right now, there's no light. As of today, this is the rate to a pound. I just got this right now by myself from my phone. The rate to a pound is 1 pound is 2,128 naira. I don't know about other app. No, which economy this man is telling us, Mocha Foam, telling us that he's doing well. Price of commodity in Nigeria right now is something else. People can't even eat 3 square meal in this country. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not joking. Everything is expensive. As I speak, no light. No, which of economy this man saying that is the strongest? How? Which comparison? Who is this man comparing this economy with? Is this people part of this country? Eh?
You could say that the critical role Chibuike Rotimi Amaechi played in opposition politics between 2013 and 2015 ultimately paved the way for the dominance of the APC in Nigerian politics today, a shock defeat from which the PDP has arguably never recovered. In that regard, no one can deny that as Mr. Amaechi turned 60 last month, amid much fanfare, his position in Nigerian political history as a vote winner remains indisputable. And yet today, in a country where politics can be a blood sport, he's on opposite sides. After serving as Minister of Transport under the ruling party for nearly 8 years, he seems to be turning away from the APC and casting an eye towards opposition politics. His supporters say that as a fearless opponent, he calls a spade, not a spoon. And if you call a spade in the tough, ultra-demanding world of Nigerian politics, then prepare for political warfare. But they say Rotimi Amaechi has enough reserves of resilience and determination to fight back, and as he marks his 60th birthday, is quite happy to live in the teeth of the battle, though he's made it clear that he'll neither work for the APC nor for the PDP, and that in fact he doesn't want to talk publicly about politics, though what happens behind closed doors is another matter. And the former Minister of Transport and former 2-term Governor of Rivers State, Chibuike Rotimi Amaechi, joins me now in the studio. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you, Charles.
I like that big sigh coming from you.
Yes.
I mean, you've just turned 60. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Much of that time has been consumed by your involvement in Nigerian politics. With age and experience, does it get easier?
Let's lay the ground rules. I accepted to participate in this interview because we said we will not discuss politics. There are only 3 political issues I will clear right away before we proceed to social issues. The first one is that nobody made me governor. God, Dr. Peter Odili, and the Nigerian judiciary. Nobody. And as journalists, nobody has ever asked that man that says he made governor, how did you make this man governor?
Right.
Nobody has ever asked that question. 2,
so how did you become governor then?
I don't know. I went to court. Lateef Fagbemi is my lawyer. He's not the Attorney General, so you should ask. So that's one thing that needs to be made very, very clear. 2, it is not true that I'll call him Mohammed Bello Adoke flew all the way from Abuja to Port Harcourt. That Wike asked me to make him Commissioner for Finance, and I said no. He has to work under me. I want him as Chief of Staff so I can supervise him. I didn't offer him Commissioner for Finance. You see, I'm saying this because I don't want to join issues with children.
Sure.
I don't want to join issues with children. Now we're finished with political questions. Can you go to social questions?
Yeah, but you know the questions lead to other questions.
No, I told you we will discuss. We will discuss.
Because when you say you wanted him to watch over him, what does that mean?
Governor supervising his staff.
Because you felt he was a bit of a sort of renegade.
No, I don't want to discuss that. I don't want to discuss politics. I've told you here that it's governors.
I will respect that.
Governors supervising his staff.
And we appreciate the fact that you took the time.
You know, he made himself chief of staff. He made himself governor. He made himself minister. He made himself local government chairman. So end it there. Don't go further. Discuss my sister's birthday. Let's move forward.
Okay. Let's move forward. But as I said, these things might be touched on peripherally. Do you have satisfaction at what you've achieved at the age of 60? Do you think that you've become a man of substance?
You know, every time I speak, I want to first thank Dr. Peter Odili for the role he played in my life, him and his wife, and I continue to say to people like my wife and my children that I will never go against us, no matter what they do to me. Have they done a lot to me? They have done so many things that you will want to scream, but then you have to hold back yourself and say to yourself, God used this man.
When you say they, you mean including Dr. Odili?
Dr. Odili and his wife. I'm not the...
Right, and his wife.
They had said no, if he wasn't there, God used him. So you must respect God by respecting them. So now, when you look at your achievement and you have said this, then the rest will be hard work. And again, you see, I want to say this again, it's political. The current chairman of INEC, if he was the chairman of INEC in 2015, would not have won.
That's an important point.
May God bless Jega.
It's a very interesting point.
Because the ground rules were clear. The current chairman of INEC can only be compared to you. Honestly.
But obviously,
have you seen a man who, when we were to register APC, Jega opened the door and once to comply with the registration requirement, he got APC registered. The current man, if like comply with all this, he will not register you. Already INEC is biased, working. But again, don't take me to politics. Can we please discuss?
But I mean, as I said, when you raise certain points, they lead to, other questions.
Note I told you people that if you go political, I will do like our former president. I remove the microphone.
Okay. Well, we don't want you to remove the microphone. Okay, but you must be proud that you've accomplished so much in your life, certainly more than most people.
Well, it's not because I'm the best. I had the opportunity, I utilized the opportunity. So when the opportunity came for me to be the Speaker of the Parliament, Dr. Odili and I spoke. He felt it was important I became the Speaker. Okay, I utilized the opportunity and I became the Speaker. The problem is not when you get the opportunity. The problem is what do you do with the opportunity? And God knows that I was one of the best speakers that this country had produced at that material time. I don't know what's happening now. Maybe there are better speakers than I was. But at that time, nobody would deny me the fact that I performed my duty as Speaker, that I was elected to become the chairman of the Speakers Forum. Since I left as chairman of Speakers Forum, I wonder if that Speakers Forum is still in existence. Okay, so again, I became governor. By the grace of God, by the grace of Dr. Peter Odili too, and the people of Nigeria, Rivers State, and the judiciary, because it was at the end of the day, the judiciary pronounced me governor. Now, when I was then sworn to the office of the governor, you will ask the question, did you perform? Of course I did.
Well, you would say you performed, wouldn't you? I mean, you're not going to say you didn't perform. I mean, nobody would say
I'm prepared to ask you to open your phone and call people from River State. 12 people are building flyovers here and making noise. I built 5, 6 flyovers, 6. I built, they are there. And I didn't make noise. I didn't call president to come and commission. I didn't make noise. I built primary schools. Let any other governor who has built primary schools come forward in River State. I built secondary schools that people were calling universities. Two children per room. Two children per room in those schools. And I got an agency in India to come and manage those schools. So they brought science teachers from India and arts teachers from Nigeria.
And what's happened to them now?
Abandoned, vandalized.
That must break your heart.
No, that's why I don't go to River State, because it gives you mental disorder. Now, within that period, we tried to build a new city. We had finished with 24-hour power supply. It was abandoned and vandalized. So I'm not one that, you see, think with me, don't give me an assignment, I will deliver. Okay, let's go to ministerial appointment. I began and completed the railway from Lagos to Ibadan. I began and completed the Lekki Deep Sea Port. completed from beginning and got it completed by the time I left office. Go to Kano, that's an inland dry port in Kano that I completed. And I told the owner of the inland dry port, you must build a primary and secondary school here to enable these children that run after us when we come, go to school free of charge. And he did that. I commenced the construction of Kano Kaduna. I completed Kaduna to Abuja, which was started by President Goodluck Jonathan. I started the Kano Maradi Railway, and it's going on. So don't give me an assignment because I will discharge it responsibly. I won't go about abusing people, talking. Maturity. Let me tell you what my second son tells me. We usually have conversations as a family. If you do something that, because currently the current politicians are not ashamed. They don't at all. They don't bother about their name. They don't bother about their character. Now, if you do anything that is wrong, you know what my second son will tell me? Dad, you're not the only Amaechi. I am too. So
that's a good point.
Yeah, if you do something that rubs off on the name Amaechi, then it affects all of us.
Absolutely.
But if you do something against your Rotimi, I don't mind that. But unfortunately, you are not just Rotimi. You are Rotimi, Amaechi, and there are so many of us who bear the name Amaechi.
That's a very, you got a wise kid. Though.
Oh, not just him. So for that reason, every member of my family is taught how to behave so that I don't mess up the name Amaechi.
And of course, you are preeminent.
Most people don't care about their name. They don't care about their character. I wonder whether they don't think their children should be ashamed of themselves.
And as you reflect on that time span of 60 years, I mean, I wonder if you reflect on the way that you have changed, as well as the way Nigeria, the country you grew up in, has also changed.
A lot of things have changed in the country. Have I changed?
Good or bad?
Are we moving from bad to worse in some areas? But it's as you're taking me to politics. I won't go into politics.
No. We're not talking politics. No. We're talking about your time as a person.
When I'm ready to go into politics. No. I don't know. When I'm ready for political conversation, I will have it, and it won't be Charles. Charles, it won't be you.
No, but why not?
Let me tell you why it won't be you. It will be between Sheon, who's been my friend a long time ago, more than, I don't know whether Sheon is up to 10 to 20 years, and my friends in your morning program. Right. Because they've been putting that pressure. You've never put any pressure, but they've been putting that pressure on me, and I've been avoiding them. I don't know why this guy called me today and I said, okay, I'm willing to do that.
Well, I'm glad you did. So at least we've got 50, and the girl is Rita Osakwe, who's the producer of this program.
Okay.
But I mean, the point really is that it's not a political question. It's a question for you as an individual who's turned 60, and you're looking at the way that you have evolved and looking at the way that this country has evolved in that time that you turned 60.
So the only thing I can tell you now is that looking at the way Nigeria had run election, even though as crude as option A4 was under Babangida, it led us forward. At least a lot of transparency. You were sure of what was going on. Then we came back to meet people like Iwu and others and the current one, and things got worse. So you don't know whether to say we are progressing or we are regressing.
Right.
You just don't know. What you say to yourself is, what do we do that Nigeria as a country today, we can't have electoral reform in a country like Nigeria. So you begin to bother, are we moving forward? The answer I get in my head is, in some areas, yes, in other areas, no. It's complete. There's a state capture using the electoral institution as a machine. And should that be? Honestly, ask yourself the question. Should that be?
I mean, the point really is that when you say things like this, as I said, there is obviously the need to clarify the points that you make, because I mean, one wonders whether given the fact that you appear to believe that electoral reform is not taking place, the kind of electoral reform that would give confidence to Nigerians and confidence to the opposition, it's not taking place. How does that make you feel going towards...
You know, I said this by saying that I wish that the National Assembly could amend the Constitution,
right,
and allow Jega to remain there until we're able to get electoral reform. Because where there is no electoral reform, then it has to be a man of conscience. And then Jega was a man of conscience. So yes, the process was not what you think you can manage, but I'll manage it in such a way that all the parties will feel this was transparent. That's what happened in 2015. Nobody gave us a chance. I doubt even if Jega even gave us a chance. But because the process was transparent, the people's votes mattered.
Right. And that's what's important, isn't it?
Here, currently,
yeah.
If I were the current chairman of INEC, I'll put, for Christ's sake now, for Christ's sake, I love my name.
But he may not be there in 2027.
It doesn't matter. Already he's stopping parties from being registered. So already, INEC has taken sides. INEC is no longer the umpire.
Right, but in fairness to him, he's put forward a considerable number of reforms, though.
To whose advantage?
I mean, he's proposed a number of reforms.
Whether he proposed it or not, to whose advantage? First, there has to be parties to compete for that election. You're putting those number of reforms. So when there are no parties to compete for those positions, then what importance is that reform?
But are you talking about the party that you're discussing in this opposition coalition, like a new party? Or?
Whether it is new or old, whatever, the most important thing is that the Electoral Act allows you to register a political party.
Right.
Just because one man sees. One thing funny about the current government is that they don't even obey laws. They don't obey the Constitution.
So are they stopping you from registering the party?
Of course, they're not allowing the opposition to register political parties. But again, you're taking me to politics. After I don't want to discuss politics.
Well, I mean, it's important to clarify these things.
Now, Charles, stop.
Because if you say something about him, then obviously it has to be clarified.
I've cleared it. So, Sister Brady.
Okay. Well, let me move in this direction. You've been Speaker of a state assembly, governor of a state, federal minister.
What's trending? Well, there's been reactions after former governor of Rivers State, Rotimi Amaechi, after he dismissed his ongoing feud with the minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Wike, stating that he does not respond to children. Amaechi's comments came after Wike's recent criticisms, where he accused Amaechi of being hungry for power. Amaechi spoke to Charles Anyagolu on Arise Prime Time. He also mocked Wike's perceived self-made image, stating that Wike made himself chief of staff, made himself governor, made himself minister, and made himself local government chairman. Let's take a look.
That man that says he made governor, how did you make this man governor?
Right.
Nobody has ever asked that question. Two.
So how did you become governor then?
I don't know. I went to court. Latif Pabemi is my lawyer. He's not the Attorney General, so you should ask. So
join issues with children. I actually heard you this morning say, no, that's not true. Wike is not a child. But I'd like for you to address, some of the comments he made right there, trying to give us the background history of how Wike got into power.
Well, he was just saying basically that he was somebody that he employed. Well, I don't know whether he should refer to him as his personal employee, because in the recent, if you construct it, Wike, as chief of staff to the governor, was invariably serving the people of Rivers State. It was government. It was Rivers State government, not, working for Amaechi in his personal capacity. All of them were serving the state. But he made a point about appointment. Usually when people are looking for appointments, when they know that this man is going to win, they will start lobbying. So, and he said that, well, Wike was interested in the position of Commissioner of Finance, but that he thought he should make him chief of staff so that he will be able to supervise him. And I said, saying this man is not good enough for Commissioner of Finance, let him be his chief of staff so that I can supervise him. It's a very mischievous innuendo. I don't want to explain the nature of the innuendo. Other people can stretch it out.
Explain.
You know. I say it's an innuendo.
Litigation. Explain. You're a lawyer.
Yeah, well, it's an innuendo. Let's leave it at that. In other words, anyway. But he also says, you know, he would rather not talk about Wike, because you see that throughout that interview, he didn't mention his name once. You know, he said, I don't want to join issues with him. You know, it's beneath him to be expanding insults in the public space with somebody who once served him. And he made the point about character, which we were saying yesterday, that, look, this man never acknowledges anybody that ever did him a favor. In other words, he was saying, this is just, you know, a transactional character. You know, he will use you, dump you, move on. If it is convenient, he comes back to you. And then he addressed the issue about, you know, how he became governor. And he said it was God, it was the judiciary, it was Sir Peter Odili, and then the people of Rivers State. But I said earlier that he raised more cogent points beyond his, you know, thief with Nyesom Wike. The point about the fact that he wants the president of Nigeria, President Tinubu, to give a proper accounting with regard to fuel subsidy savings. There are people who have been saying that. And I said President Tinubu has explained that states have more money, debts have been paid, but perhaps, you know, greater transparency that he's asking for. Maybe nobody can argue about that. He says INEC is not above board, and that, you know, political coalitions are finding it very difficult to register political parties under the conditions, and he compared the present INEC chairman to former chairman Maurice Iwu. 3, he said that this government does not respect the rule of law. But specifically, he was talking about the situation in Rivers State with regard to the declaration of a state of emergency. But we saw Governor Fubara, you know, visiting in the spirit of Salah celebrations, the president of Nigeria. And I was imagining that this should be an opportunity for him to further plead with the president that the 6 months should not extend beyond 6 months, particularly now that the sole administrator is behaving as if he wants to sit tight.
That's where I'm going. Let me take that story, then you can. But, I mean, that was a good interview with Charles Onyango. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I advise our viewers to watch it on our YouTube channel. Well, in the meantime, reactions have trailed the visit by the suspended governor of Rivers State, Similaye Fubara, to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at his residence in Lagos on Tuesday. The visit comes less than a week after Fubara stated his intention to put aside pride and personal interest to restore peace in Rivers State and reconcile with his predecessor, FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, whom he refers to as his boss. The details of the meeting were not immediately disclosed. This is their first public meeting since President Tinubu declared state of emergency in Rivers State on March 18th and suspended the governor. Well, let's take a look at some reactions. This is from EJ Tweet. Found this reaction funny. He says, is Governor Wike aware? Is Wike aware, the minister? Well, politicians will always do political things. I made videos calling for the legal suspension to be lifted. And Fubara is smiling with Tinubu. Politics is just a game. Good luck to both of them, Rivers and Nigeria. Well, America wrote, Governor Fubara's Lagos visit to President Tinubu hints a strategic move amidst Rivers State's political storm, with Wike's shadow looming. Fubara might be rethinking alliances, sometimes in politics. If you can't beat them, join them. And you know that we saw a lot of these comments online. When we saw that picture, we were like, hey, state capture. I mean, those are some of the comments. Well, your thoughts on the visit by Fubara?
You know, earlier in the program, I said, for me personally, I thought the optics were unfortunate because this is an elected official. Yes. And, you know, we know that the assumption around it is that he's going to beg and plead. Now, if you remember in the month or so leading up to the state of emergency, the president had said that Governor Fubara should just stoop to conquer.
Yes.
That had been his very decisive advice to him. And well, we see he's finally taking the advice and it's bearing fruit. And it's unfortunate that, you know, politicians will always do what it takes to stay in power or to claim power. It's around power. And where is the will of the people in all of this? Where is the accountability to the people who voted for him? The past 2 years have been stagnant in terms of development in Rivers State because it's been one political issue after the other. However, if you look at it from a political strategy perspective, especially after the statements we saw from the minister of the SCT at the beginning of the week, where he will deliver Rivers State, almost as the alpha and omega of the Rivers State. Well, this is President Tinubu also just reminding him that there's not one alpha and omega in Rivers State. Yes. Don't forget that there's somebody waiting in the corridors of power who is sitting at the throne currently, and based on that might be able to also check and balance your own influence in the state. So, gosh, it's all games that are being played. My heart just bleeds for the people of Rivers State who still need governance.
Rivers State. I mean, Rufai, we did see Governor Wike, I believe it was last month, actually accusing Arise TV of deceiving the governor and making him think that he was... Yes.
He said that?
Live television. He said it. Yes, he
Arise
did.
TV?
Yes, that he was deceived. Go ahead.
There's no way we could have deceived us.
I was wondering who did. Go ahead.
I don't know. Because, I mean, the governor should have a mind of his own. So, so you say we deceived the governor. We are probably giving us too much metaphysical power.
Yeah.
So how can we deceive?
What do you make of the optics there, though?
It's a very wrong optics. Yes. You know what the optics reminds me of? It was just like Miranda in Lagos State singing and thanking them after she was pulled out of office. This is a bad optics for democracy. Let's call it speed is speed. In fact, this is one of the saddest days for democracy with these optics. A president that committed a constitutional aberration took an elected governor out by the people, trounced on the rights of an elected governor. Then you, Fubara, because you want the power so much, you are going to beg. How much will you beg? So people like this, when they slap you, when they cut your head, you will beg.
But you know, he did say that he wants peace.
What
so
peace?
He's trying
what peace?
Yeah, that
what
was
peace?
His last comment.
What peace? What peace?
Peace for the people.
Peace is earned through respect and war. Sometimes you have to sit down and fight. Mm-hmm. If you have to lose, you have to lose. In the end, isn't Fubara going to live there? Is he going to be governor forever?
No.
So in the end, you are still going to leave the position rather than somebody just trounce on your right like that and you look and you keep going to beg the same person that removed you from the mandate of the people. And you say, this is optics. And he's saying, oh, the other day he said, what did the Fubara say? He said, my mind is living there. But obviously your mind has not left there. Mm-mm. If they did state of emergency against you, what you should do is bid your time. After, if they don't give you back, so be it. But he also has something to lose, and it has shown. Oji, you need to stand for. So why do we praise President Tinubu today as last man standing? President Tinubu, if the script were free, would never, the President Tinubu, and I know, and I give him his respect today. I don't agree with me on many things, but I respect that man called President Tinubu. If the tables turn, the President Tinubu, I know, will never cower. And that's why I respect it. That's why it was called last man standing. He will never cower.
Right.
He will never grovel.
Jagaban.
He will Jagaban.
All right.
Jagaban.
All right.
He will stand on his rights. And that's what we expected Fubara to do. You thought it was easy for President Tinubu to fight the might of the central government like Olusegun Obasanjo and the character like Olusegun Obasanjo then. It wasn't easy for him. But he stood his ground. You thought it was easy for him to stay in opposition all these years and fight the might of the PDP before he finally gained one against him. Give him his credit. I'm giving him his credit when it doesn't mean I will not criticize him tomorrow. I'm giving him his credit today. Right. If the tables were turned, President Tinubu will not do this. It's Tinubu I know. And that's why I respect him.
In any case, we don't have a readout of the content of their meeting. We are just assuming that given the circumstances in Rivers State and the declaration of state of emergency, that the reason they went there to see President Tinubu, first time we will see the two of them together since this crisis began. So we assume that you cannot leave the place without talking about the state of emergency. Mm-hmm. Suppose he just went there to just greet the president in the spirit of Salah, and maybe Rivers State state of emergency was not discussed. But okay, you can say it's the unspoken subtext.
Right.
I mean, you can't just go, I hear you in Lagos, sir.
Well, there's a story that he went to London too now, so and there was this Dobale thing going on.
Than him in the 2023 election. He's Omoyele Sowore, AAC presidential candidate in that election. Is live for us here now. So thanks so much, Mr. Sowore, for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me. Good evening.
Are you excited now that President Bola Tinubu is on the way to delivering those promises he said he promised Nigerians in 2023?
Excited? Oh, I'm very sad that we're 2 years into the regime, that we're in this situation. We're in a conundrum. And as you introed your position about the government, I also was watching when the chief, I think it was the chief of defense staff or chief of army staff, who had just told Nigerians that they're helpless. Is asking the people at this point to please help them defeat Boko Haram. They can't understand why Boko Haram is strong and he needs the community to help. That should not be coming from the army. That should be coming from vigilantes. So security is number one. The economy is number two. They said they're going to remove. They said they removed fuel subsidy. The next day, we're supposed to see Eldorado. People are poorer than they've ever been. We are being compared with Sudan in terms of the likelihood of a place where a child won't live up to 5 years after they're born. We have become a nation that has pushed people not into poverty this time around, into multidimensional poverty. In 1970, there are less than 7 million Nigerians in multidimensional poverty. In 2025, there are over 170 million Nigerians in multidimensional poverty. The minimum wage in 1975 is better than that of 2025. So tell me, in which area did they promise they will help this country that they have assisted the country? So they declare that there's going to be renewed hope, but everywhere is hopeless. It's renewed hopelessness. And we're not just saying this. We are speaking as people who are Nigerians who observe this, who know this, and who can tell you categorically that the Nigerian people are worse than they were a few months ago. I'm not even going to talk about it.
Are you saying this as a bitter person who lost the election? I mean, because
I've said this several times on your show that we shouldn't be discussing election because we never had an election.
Because I see an opposition voice. Yeah. You ran the election. The fact that you ran in that election.
I ran in it.
And it's almost impossible for you to be able to agree with the person you said you could do better than.
No, if they are doing better, even if I disagree with them, the rest of the country will be on their side. But they are not doing well. They are not doing anything, as a matter of fact. They're just huffing and puffing.
There is nothing in the last 2 years that is good in this
Well, you go out of here and go tell Nigerian people that there's something that's happened in the last.
I mean, there are a few things that people could applaud. The loans being given to students.
Loan given to students. Did the man not just come here now and say 250 billion naira was stolen between 2021 and 2022 from the public? This was found by the Accountant General, and he broke it down. People were overpaid, monies that were not returned, contractors that were overpaid.
I'm talking about the loan scheme
250
for
billion
students.
naira.
You were a former student union leader.
I went to the University of Lagos, paying 90 naira for accommodation and 45 naira school fees. How can you ask me to applaud somebody who is giving loans for people to go to school? I went to school in the US. I paid loans. It was the worst decision I ever took, to take loans to go to school. People are getting depressed, committing suicide in the US because they took student loans. The Biden administration wanted to pay back all the loans, but the Supreme Court, of course, their court system didn't allow it. I'm just using that to tell you that it's an antiquated idea that you ask people who are not going to find jobs when they leave the university to take loans to go to school. But you are subsidizing people who do nothing in the country with huge amount of money. I just mentioned to you 250 billion naira. How much was the amount of money that was allocated to student loans? Was that up to 250 billion?
But that was in the Buhari.
We're talking about Buhari. By the time the Accountant General is done with this one, with this government, you probably will find that there's 3 times more money has been stolen in the last 2 years.
You don't agree in the manner in which the subsidy was removed, but do you agree with the unification of the exchange window?
I was on the show with you here, and I told you that I won't float in the naira because the naira is not something that you toy with. It's the national currency. You cannot subjugate the naira to the whims and caprices of market and speculators. That's what they are doing to Naira. That's why, how is it that the Nigerian Naira, the Naira, has less value than the currency of the guys in Cotonou and Ghana? What did they do differently? It is economic policy.
What would you have done differently?
We've discussed that several times, that first and foremost is to have a monetary policy that is about strengthening the economy. It's about people who are competent. Our monetary policy is about buying and selling of forex. That's what it is. And I was on a show a few days ago here when I talked about inflation, where the MPC meets every time and they come and increase what they call the interest rates. And I said it's a 98 idea by Paul Volcker and Jimmy Carter. And when Jimmy Carter did that, he lost the election. His tenure was not renewed. And you are repeating that in 2025 in Nigeria, because you must understand the reason why there's inflation, right? There are several reasons why you have inflation. And one of it is not what they are doing there. You cannot borrow money to people at 27% interest rate. There are some banks that are doing 33% interest rate. If you look at the banks across board, well enough to know that he's competent. I know him as a politician who knows his way around manipulating people. That's what I know about him. I don't know him as a
assessment of
it is.
Of
That's why Nigeria is in the situation that it is today. It's the guy who came 2 years ago and said he built Lagos, and then he came and ruined Nigeria because they never built Lagos in the first place. They were manipulating everybody in Lagos and collecting taxes and taking care of these taxes themselves. So the truth is that I never know him to be a competent person. That was why we're warning Nigerians 2 years ago that do not make the mistake of allowing these people come to power. I won't say vote for them, because nobody voted for them.
So in this case, you do not in any way have a trust, because I'm imagining when in the renewed OPA agenda, they said, we're making very, very strong and audacious.
No,
and
I wanted to actually intervene when you said, some international organizations are, saying that they are making audacious moves. One of the ones they paraded was Moody's. Moody's is people who rate bonds. Nigeria is not a company that is selling bonds. Of course, we have bonds, we buy Euro bonds. And the reason...
CBN has gone to the...
no, I know. I want to explain you. I know to explain
fully
to you.
Subscribed, in fact, oversubscribed.
No, there's nobody who will not subscribe to bonds where you get short-term investment and you have the highest rate of return. That's what the Nigerian bond system is. It's because it's not the kind of bonds that are well respected. So they have the highest return on investment within the shortest period of... Who will not buy that kind of bond, especially when it's collateralized with our oil money? That's why we're getting over. It's not because our economy is doing well. It's because anybody can come in, make money, or even rig our bond system, your stocks here, and then you walk out after a few months. So you don't think Nigerians should
be hopeful about this government?
You become a billionaire just subscribing to the Nigerian bond, because it is the kind of bonds that gives money to investors who don't care about
So you don't think Nigerians should be hopeful about this government and its policies?
No, I shouldn't. I don't think so. And I've warned Nigerians, and I'll keep saying it, the more you hope, the more you lose regarding this government.
What should they then do?
It's up to them to decide whether they want to keep suffering or they bond together and bundle them out. Nobody should be put in the situation that Nigerians are in now. And I'm never afraid to say it anywhere that I'm confronted with this question, that you are not at liberty, or no government should put you in a situation where you are perpetually in bondage. And you say, well, you have to wait for 4 years. Nobody should be put in...
So your description of the performance of this government is for you less than desirable?
I don't need to tell you. That was my position since we started this show, that it's not only undesirable, it is unforgivable that we found ourselves in the situation that we're in now.
There are a lot of people who think that Bola Tinubu has been preparing himself for far too long for this position. He knows what he's doing. He's done it before. He can do it again. And he's certain about where he wants to lead this nation. And there are those who are close to him who say, look, the plan of the president is to be the Lee Kuan Yew of Nigeria, to change things around and make Nigeria a great nation. You don't see that coming?
This president is not going to be a Lee Kuan Yew. It's going to be an undertaker.
What do you mean by that?
Well, what do undertakers do? When they kill people, they put them in a coffin, dance a bit around with them, and bury them. That's what they came to do. And that is why you were mentioning that this one was prepared. The same thing they said about Buhari, that he's been preparing since 1978 when he was Commissioner for Petroleum Resources. And when he came back here in 2015, you know what he did to Nigeria? He killed Nigeria. And now they are preparing Nigeria for burial with the same person you said is. That's why we're warning you guys on these shows when we come on your show. We don't get to come here frequently. That the so-called experienced people that who always tend their experience as their own qualification, as their CV during election, that you should look at what they have done. The experience we should look at is the experience we have had with them, not the experience of how long they have been screwing the country. And that is why we must keep telling you this, and I will say to Nigerians, no matter how much we get airtime, we will warn you and say, look, the earlier you get to know what is happening to you, the earlier you reject it, the earlier you fight back, the better for you. Don't let anybody deceive you that somebody is going to become a Lee Kuan Yew of Nigeria. When Boko Haram that he met in Borno State is already in Kogi State. When the Naira he met at 460 is at 1,650 today. When the salary of workers, when it was 15,000 Naira, is less than the 70,000 Naira that it is today. When the roads that they said they are constructing 700 kilometers, only did 30 kilometers, they are telling you that in Ondo State, I called Ondo State today, I want to see the plan for Ondo State. They don't have it because they never plan to construct any 700 kilometers road. They just want to do 47 kilometers from Eco Atlantic to Dangote Refinery, and then the rest of it, they'll be playing with you. We warned you about all this, and this is government of liars. And we have never minced words that if you keep letting them do what they're doing with you and you get distracted by all this conversation about coalitions and all that, you're going to find yourself in worse situations than you are now. Because that has been the story of Nigeria since the emergence of civil rule. We don't have democracy yet, but we've transferred, it's a transition to civil rule. What we are looking for now is real democracy. Yes.
In summary, because I'll take you to the coalition, because I understand that you might be leading another kind of coalition.
I'm the leader of the coalition of the oppressed, but not the coalition of the hungry, led by Amaechi and the rest of them.
Yeah, I'll get to that in a moment. I imagine that, how do you wrap up in your own summary the 2 years of President Bola Tinubu in every ramification, and what Nigerians should be looking forward to in the next 2 years?
There's nothing to look forward to. Anything that's going to happen to you in the next 2 years that's already happened to you in the last 2 years.
You are being a prophet of doom now.
I'm not a prophet of doom. I'm telling you what will happen. You don't need to be a prophet to know the direction we are headed. We're headed for doom if we continue with the trajectory that you're getting now. In the next 2 years, they are not going to do anything regarding governance. Next 2 years is about election, how they can consolidate their hold on power, lie to you. There will be a lot of tension. They might kill people. They will deceive some people. They will manipulate a few people. They will do some cosmetic, things to make people get fooled. They will set up fake coalitions so that you think that, they have opposition. What they are very good at doing now is that they set up their own opposition. I walked in here, I was joking with a man from PDP. I said, you are the APC branch of the PDP, like people like Wike, that's the APC branch, in the PDP. So that's what you're going to get, but you cannot get anything better than that. There's nothing on the table that will take you to the place that you can
which
call
other political parties
land.
are you? You said you are leading a coalition.
The people, it's not a political.
It's only AAC and yourself that is leading that coalition.
It's the coalition that is connecting with the people, and those are the oppressed. I'm not going to be part of it. I said it from the beginning, and I think we had this conversation, that this whole coalition is either trying to get attention for those who don't have a job, or those who feel
what do you mean who don't have a job?
Well,
former Vice President, Amaechi, former
Amaechi said it. Amaechi said it. Amaechi has been in power since in 1999. He has been in power, and he's complaining of hunger already. So what does that tell you?
I think he was referencing Nigerians who are hungry.
No, he said if others are not hungry, me, I'm hungry. And he said it at a birthday party where he rented a hall and had, a performer that probably collected 10 million naira to perform per hour. But that's not the issue. What we're trying to say is that please don't be distracted. What needs to be done must be done. Bond together, but don't be distracted and don't let people lie to you that they're interested. Even if they somehow transfer power to themselves, you're going to get the same result. They're the same people. Just changing uniform and changing parties overnight is not the same.
So you're not joining the articles of this world, the Rotimi Amaechi, the El-Rufai, and those who are saying that enough is enough. In fact, El-Rufai said they will not allow this government to go further than 2027, and in fact, they will send President Bola Tinubu back to Lagos in 2027. And you don't think, I mean, that's what you wanted to. You've lived all your life wanting to become Nigeria's president.
Do you know the first time I knew about the article, 1992? It was contesting against Abiola, and I was a senior union president at the University of Lagos. If I didn't join him when I was 21 years old, knowing who they are, why would I join them when I'm 54 years old, knowing who they are? And having covered them, having understood them, I know all of them, I know their character, I know they mean nothing good for the country.
What's your strategy? Since you're a lone man and a lone voice.
I'm not a lone voice.
You said you're not joining the coalition.
No, the coalition is what is lonely. That's why they can't even hold meetings. That's why they can't find a party to join. They were joining SCP one day, the next day they're in ADC. Now they say they want to register a party. That's loneliness. Because any coalition that is without ideology is a lonely coalition. No, a coalition without conviction, a coalition without character. Coalition without integrity.
There are those who are of the opinion that if things go on and opposition parties are not united and coordinated, it's going to be an easy ride for Bola Tinubu and the APC.
It is what they are doing that will make it easy for him to run, that will make him easy to return to office. They are preventing the real organic coalition of the oppressed to fight. People are getting distracted. Nigerian people actually think these guys are fighting.
What is the best way to have a headway? 2027.
Is for the people to understand that the only way out is the way they design for themselves.
And who is the best man for the job?
Here you have me. And I'll keep telling you, regardless of how long you dismiss it, one day you thank the moment that we shared together, that we gave you an alternative, but you rejected it.
Are you talking to the Nigerian people?
I'm talking to Nigerian people, including you.
No, I'm a journalist.
Yes, because you are in Nigeria. I'm also a journalist, don't forget.
No, you used to be one.
I'm still a journalist. So
but you're a politician now, so.
I may be a busybody journalist, but I see, it's a profession that I actually did found and I love. So, but, as I always say, there has to be a different, and the word you don't like, it's a revolution. There has to be one.
Amaechi Sowore, AAC presidential candidate in the 2023 election. Thanks so much indeed for your time.
Thank you.
All right. That's all I have for you guys today, my people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you all. Thank you very much for your time with us today. I've already acknowledged so many people already earlier on from the beginning of this broadcast, but I want to say once again that I appreciate every one of you, those of you who just joining us now. And God bless you now. Thank you. For those of you that want to call in, this is the best time. I only have just one article to read, and then we can take it from there. The link we posted that earlier on. If you want to join the panel, it's the best time for you to come in as well. I already got a super chat from Peggy Modi. I'm very, very grateful, man. God bless you. Thanks for all you do, all the time, your encouragement. I'm always, always grateful. Guys, you can replicate that. You can do the same thing by clicking on the $sign and encourage what we do here. People like us not common. Yes, I'm telling you, you might not understand, but I like the fact, I don't really like talking about it, but I like the fact that some of my panelists talk about this all the time. Yes, let's encourage ourselves to do more for ourselves. I appreciate every one of you. I'd like to take the first call that we already have here, which is Mother Deborah, as usual. Mother Deborah, thank you very much, man, for calling in. Good evening to you.
Hello.
Hello, man, we can hear you. Good evening to you. Please talk to us.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Elvis. Good evening to everyone, all our viewers and commenters all over the world. You're welcome to today's program. Let me just start by commenting on I think about the last video about Sowore. I said you can see anytime he is not talking about Peter Obi, you see how he is talking gently about Tinubu. Whenever he is not criticizing, if it is Peter Obi now, you will see him talking and anyhow. But when he's criticizing Tinubu government, he's very careful with what he's saying, And even everything that he said, I've not seen any concrete solution. Okay, you're complaining about the government, then what are you doing to help change the system? He's not doing anything. You cannot just be complaining, but you are not willing to be an active part in what is going to help Nigeria. Okay, right now, this is why I'm not happy with the journalists. They're not asking him the appropriate questions. Okay, right now, what is he actually doing? He's not a part of any major political party. He's not doing anything. He will still go and contest as president, knowing that he's not going to win. So I don't really know what that guy is up to. I think it's just a waste of time. All he does is complain. But what are you doing now to make things better? What part are you playing? What active part are you playing? Zero. It's only to criticize. That's the only thing that he's good at doing. So let me quickly say something about Rotimi Amaechi. I think Rotimi Amaechi, he's now coming out to sound as if he's somebody that has integrity well, he was part of Buhari's government for 8 years, and he never came out to criticize Buhari for anything that Buhari did. So what moral ground does he have now to criticize Tinubu? It's just a shame when these people come. They think people forget what they have done in the past. Was he not part of Buhari's government? So did he criticize Buhari for the 8 years that Buhari was there? I think it's coming out now because I think he wants to be a part of the coalition. And from what I'm hearing, I don't know if that's true. I think they are trying to. They say Peter Obi is not accepting their condition. Maybe it's Rotimi Amaechi they want to push forward.
Probably,
and if he's the one they are pushing forward, they are going to lose as well, because I don't see him. I don't think Nigerians, the people who support Peter Obi, will not support him. And if Peter Obi comes out to still contest, that means they are going to have a repeat of what happened in 2023. That's what they are going. That's where they are heading to, because obviously they are going to have 3 people contesting again, and they are going to split the vote, and that automatically means that Tinubu might still be able to come back. So they are going to end up repeating the same mistake. You see, the same mistake that they did in 2023 is the same mistake that they are heading to. Instead of them to all back Peter Obi so that he can push, if at all. Peter Obi is the only person that can. I mean, if there's anybody that can match Tinubu a little, it's Peter Obi. And if they make the mistake of pushing any other person rather than Peter Obi, then the same thing that happened in 2023 is going to repeat itself, because they will end up splitting the vote among 3 people, and Tinubu will be able to manipulate and win again. That's what might happen, except they put their house in order, So I've forgotten the other video that you talked about. Okay, let me say something about the what is it called? Arise, the Nigerian media. You see, most times I don't listening to these people, because the kind of questions that they ask when they bring people into their studios, the kind of questions they ask them, you begin to wonder. They don't really ask them proper questions. You see, is it Malka? Is it Festus Malka? You see all the things that he's saying. They are all just campaigning for 2027, and they don't ask them the real questions that they are supposed to ask them. Like I was expecting them to talk more about the insecurity that is going on, that is currently going on, but I didn't hear anything about about insecurity, which is a major a problem that is still ongoing. So the Nigerian media, I think they are one of the biggest problems that we have in Nigeria. I believe if not because of social media, you see, before they talk about anything, except they see that those things people are talking about those things on social media, or probably media like yourself, Nigeria Watch, have spoken about it, then they have no option but to talk about it. Otherwise, they never investigate anything. Even things that are happening in Nigeria, they will never really bring them, to talk about. But even if they want to talk about things that are happening, they just talk about it so briefly, as if it doesn't really mean anything. It's just a shame, honestly. To be honest with you, Mr. Elvis, I think we have a long way to go in Nigeria. I'm telling you, we have a very, very long way to go. But we'll just keep doing our part, and we'll see how things will turn out in the next few years. But obviously, where we are heading to, I'm not seeing a green light yet, because the so-called coalition that they are having is already heading to a failure, because they cannot even agree on a particular person to back. So except if things changes, but the way it's going, I think they might end up like what happened in 2023.
Very sad.
Thank you so much, Mr. Elvis.
Thank you very much, Madam Deborah. Thanks for your consistency. I'm grateful. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks like we are driving backwards as usual. The situation, in fact, running this broadcast, some of us are already being affected. That's why you see they don't join the just like Madam Suberry just super chatted me on super tanks. For those of you that doesn't understand what super tanks means, every video that you watch on our platform, there is a symbol there called super tanks. It means thank you for what you're doing. You can click on it and still super chat us. That's what Madam Suberry just did like 3 minutes ago, which is about 5 minutes ago now. Add up with the time I screenshotted it. She said, well done, Mr. Elvis. I don't listen to the show much anymore because it is affecting my mental health. But I will always come in to support you. May God give you the strength to continue the good work. You see, it's not easy, to be honest, because what we talk about here is so repetitive, and nothing is happening, and they are not doing anything to listen to us or whatever. So yeah, I understand sometimes some people cannot just continue by listening to the negative side of Nigeria all the time, because you and I know that we have 99.9% of negative topic, or rather story, headlines in Nigeria. That's it. It's always like that, 99.9%. Some people all ask us sometimes to talk about the positive side of Nigeria. You come into the panel and tell us what is positive about Nigeria, right? Especially our government. Just come into the panel. Don't talk behind your keyboard. You said, oh, Mr. Najawa, I'm here. I want to talk about the positive things about this, about Tinubu, or about the government, or about the country as a whole. If not the individuals. It's crazy. Well, thank you very much, ma. I really do appreciate you for all that you do, Madam Suberry. God bless you, ma. Thank you very much. Hello. Good evening to you. Thanks very much for calling in. Your name and where you calling us from? Yes, ma.
Yeah, I called him. I'm Flourish from Canada. Good evening, bros.
Yeah, thank you, ma. Please talk to us.
Yeah, God bless you for everything. God bless you for all you do, sir. We really appreciate you. We, as the Nigerians, diaspora, we appreciate you for your kind heart towards the people. Thank you, mommy. Yeah. Good evening, man. God bless you, man, for allowing Mr. Elvis to go through all of this. God bless you, and God enrich you. I have taken time to follow your program, and for Mr. Showore, anytime I see Showore, I'm just being angry and disgusted about him, because you can see from all indications that these people had been paid ahead of 2027, because we don't need to negotiate it at all, because if this coalition of a thing, you can see that they really do not talk about Mr. Obi. Because if they were pushing forward for Mr. Obi, I would say, oh, they are in for a deal or a business. But in this regard, you can see that they are pushing in for Amaechi. That is what I see. And these are the looters of Nigeria, people that have looted Nigeria dry. And nothing was left. During former president of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, these people never stood up for the Nigerians. They never said anything about what Muhammadu Buhari had done to the people. But you can see how they all rose up, you know, saying all of these people, from my own point of view, I think it's been orchestrated by Tinubu. All this shenanigans you see happening in Nigeria, it's been orchestrated by Tinubu because they want to distract Peter Obi. Then they are using Showore from the other side to also distract, because definitely Showore will get, you know, a huge amount of votes, even if it's 500,000. That is the whole lot. But Showore saying that I do not want to support Obi. I'm not supporting anybody. If Showore truly extends, he's not. Absolutely. Then I watched David Hudeyin interview. You see this media, they are not talking anything regarding that what David Hudeyin said so far concerning Showore. You see, they called him for an interview yesterday, but nobody could, you know, speak about that. That is to tell you something is fishing, because if they push in Amaechi is going to definitely, you know, collect a part of the trunk of vote in the South, and they would support Amaechi in the northern part of Nigeria as well. Are you getting what I'm saying, sir? So in this case, so Amaechi is definitely going to get a chunk of votes from the South, a little bit of Southeast, and the northern part of Nigeria, to cause more harm to Mr. Peter Obi. Because I have not seen these people talk about Obi. Oh, let us seek, you know, it's time to really truly sit our hearts together to talk about how do we push forward Mr. Obi. But you can listen to what IBB said in his interview a couple of days ago, that I have seen that man in his 60s. Even if he didn't make mention of Peter Obi, but I knew certainly he was actually referring to Obi, but we did not announce. We did not announce actually, you know, back him up, because I don't see that coming, sir. I'm so sorry about that. Because from all indications, that is exactly what I see, that they are pushing forward to Amaechi. And Amaechi now want to stand as a spoiler for Mr. Peter Obi, and Showore, another spoiler from the other side. So with all this situation at hand right now, you can see that they are not ready yet, because if they want to talk about defeating Tinubu in 2027, they have to sit up now, right now, they have to sit up from this moment to talk about how to push forward Mr. Peter Obi, and let's see how they can be able to get, you know, someone reasonable, somebody reliable from the northern part of Nigeria to deputize Mr. Peter Obi. This is what I see. But if not, honestly, it will be a joke for me. That is exactly what I think, that it's not going to work. From what I see now, if it continued like this, we won't go anywhere, sir. So exactly. I am sorry. This is my opinion. And thank you too so much for everything, because I have followed, God knows how many years I've been following.
Thank you.
It has been made me cry during election. So I do not want to cry 2027. That's why I'm being careful. Sometimes I comment, and I think this is actually my second time calling into this platform to speak. But this is my own view, and I have to talk about it. God bless you, Mr. Elvis.
Thank you very much, man. God bless you. I appreciate you. Thank you, man.
Thank you so much. All right, bye, sir.
All right, you see that submission right there. I will agree with her, because what these guys are trying to do now, maybe because Peter Obi is becoming stubborn to them, you know, hard to get. So what they're trying to do, they want to push Amaechi forward and push Peter Obi aside. For me, the whole thing, Peter Obi coming out or not coming out, anybody coming out or not coming out, they are not going anywhere in 2027. Tinubu will win again if electoral reform is not passed. To be honest, you might argue with me now. You cannot have the same person, Mahmoud Yakubu and his satanic team, you want to run in 2027. I don't understand sometimes how we think. Yes, me, I will not campaign for anybody on this platform. I'm telling you. Even though Peter Obi come out from any platform, I will not campaign. Although I'll let people come here to campaign for their various aspirants. That's what I will do. The only thing that will make someone like me to come out to hit my chest that I'm supporting this person and I'm using my platform to support this person, if the electoral reform that we all are calling for is properly reformed. If not, what's all that? I will slap you again for your face. Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. It looks like we are just there to go play around. I don't want to be part of that. You see, when my big sister complained just now that this is affecting her mental health, it is not they affect people like us as well. Want me to be here wasting my time and all that? I will not do that. Thank you, Madam Deborah, for calling in. Quickly talk to us.
Yeah, sorry, Mr. Elvis. It's just a quick one in response to your submission. You said, except they have electoral reform. What if there's a proper, I think if they have a proper coalition, because expecting Tinubu to do any reform, I don't think that is going to happen. Tinubu is definitely not going to do any electoral reform. I don't see that happening.
So then how are you going to win?
Yes, but the thing is that if they are able to have a strong coalition, if they are really serious, if they have a strong coalition by making Peter Obi
but they are not ready to make Peter Obi. Peter Obi is not ready to work with them. So
but that is a problem. If they are not ready to do that, then there's not any hope. But what I'm trying to say is, if they, assuming they are wise and they listen, if they are able to, if they learn from the mistake of 2023, and they are able to back Peter Obi up, even if Tinubu did not do electoral reform, it will be difficult for him to rig and be able to win. The 2023 election, he rigged. He was able to manipulate and rig, but it was still difficult for him. You know, it was a bit difficult for him. Assuming there was a coalition, then it would have been difficult for him to be able to rig the numbers. So it's up to them. If they are really serious about 2027, then they should back Peter Obi. They should back Peter Obi up and support him to be able to win. And if the numbers are so much, it will definitely be difficult for Tinubu to be able to rig. Thank you so much, Mr. Elvis.
All right. Thank you very much, Ma. God bless you. Thank you. To be honest, my people, the 2027, normally, I'm even surprised that 2027 is already, the talk is already going on. Like Amaechi already stated on that interview just now, I said it a couple of days ago as well, that if you are expecting Tinubu to work in the remaining 2 years, you're just joking. Because it's not possible for Tinubu to work in the next 2 years. Why? Because their campaign will properly start from next month. Have that in mind. Campaign will properly start from next month. So, sorry, from next year. So it means that they will be busy running left to right, how they want to win 2027. So all of them are going to be distracted. You know, how is it going to work? The only thing Tinubu will do for the people in 2026/2027 is to synthetically start either giving lights, like the light you are saying we don't have now, for example, start giving light, start doing some kind of thing temporarily. You know, then the gullible ones will fly with it and say, okay, yeah, now he will go vote for and all that. So yeah, but still, they are not depending on your vote. These guys are not depending on your vote. Whatever that will happen in 2027 have been pre-planned, And in 2027, it will be executed. Have that in mind. Before you argue, have that in mind. That's all I have for you guys today. For my side, I would like to listen to my panelists. My callers have put their own out there. Let's listen to the only two panelists that I have here. Let's take it from here. I'll start with Black Panther. Black Panther, it's good to have you on the show, my brother. Good evening to you. Please talk to us. You have 15 minutes.
Nigeria, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I want to thank you for giving us this opportunity to speak. And I want to thank all the callers. Yes, it is good we are all participating. A lot of people might, like the last caller was having a sort of, his psyche was being affected due to what is going on in Nigeria. Yes, everybody has that same problem. But let us just calm down. Let's calm down. Let's calm down and let's flow with it. And let's find out what is the main core of our problem. Like I always tell you people, the problem is not within only. The major problem is external problem. And before I go, I want to thank Mommy Diaspora and all the viewers. I want to thank everyone that is listening today. Let us all listen carefully. Like I said yesterday, I said we should go back and listen to what David spoke about. Everything he spoke about have already gone through it. Where something will correlate with what my findings were. And David made it come together, and it was 90% intact. I want to say to what the Shore is doing out there. If you are critical thinkers, because you require, everybody can acquire wisdom, but the understanding is what differentiates everyone now. Because your understanding might not really, bring the picture of what you gotten from the wisdom which you have acquired. The understanding might not be very clear for people to really assimilate it. Now, this is how it goes. I before David brought out his stuff, I said Shore has been positioned, that I'm not going to remove the red flag on him because I was monitoring the situation. Shore has been placed, if you know the game of chess, Shore has been placed as a pawn. Everybody can be a pawn. Nigeria is where the king palace is. Everybody is protecting the country, quote unquote, Nigeria. There is somebody inside there that is representing, but we are protectors too. So as Shore is a protector, but Shore is protecting the king and the queen. We are not protecting the king and the queen. We are protecting the country, which the king and the queen, which we refuse, but he is protecting it. That is why David made mention that are we not really collecting that every time an agitation comes out, he brings out himself. The purpose of him bringing out himself is to make because if he comes there, he's a voice. He's a very strong pawn. If he comes out, if he speaks, all the media will focus on him. And he will tag all the things that is happening, why they are doing this rally. It's as a result of the revolution. He will now come out and be speaking. All the press will now focus on him. He will now be speaking, and that is what is meant to do. To protect the establishment. And who is the caretaker of the establishment? It is Tinubu. Now, you see why he cannot speak on Tinubu like that? He's saying, oh, Tinubu is part of them, but it's not going deep. Oh, who told you that Tinubu built Lagos? No, he didn't build Lagos. He was always taking blah, 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 blah. That is what you and I know. But at the long run, he will divert attention again and start speaking on other things. he won't stress it. But if it comes to Peter Obi, who is not a member of the establishment, he will go deeper to offend the obedient. Then we will not focus on him and leave the caretaker of the establishment. But we reiterate, after finishing with him, we will not come back. But we are not, most of us are not defined because the understanding of what David spoke on, we are not really collecting it. Let me say one thing. You see, what is happening now is an external influence. The imperialists are in charge of Nigeria, verily in charge. They are comfortable with it. Remember, David said one thing. He said they want Africa, the portion they gave to Africa. This is not David saying it. There's a book, there's a document. It's for Africa to produce the raw materials and never to produce raw materials cheaply and never to be rich. But the imperialists can choose among the one that they can give wealth to for them to be subject to them whenever they want to perpetrate anything or anything, they will make sure that those ones that they made rich will always obey them. If you don't obey them, they will take your wealth using their establishment to bring you down. Now, what happened in the north? The power that the imperialists brought upon the north has shifted. I have a point. I'll prove my point now here. Remember when President Tinubu took over and we had a rally? I want every one of you to go and play that video back. The entire flag that was flown, it was a mass flag that was thrown, was the Russian flag. And how did it come about? Remember when the Niger Republic, the military took over, and you know Niger Republic and the north of Nigeria has a cultural affiliation and they've got it intermarried, and most of them are Nigerians, and they spoke the same language with the same religion. So their attachment is somehow, it's a bond that they have. That was why when the ECOWAS chairman, which is President Tinubu, wanted to attack, everybody said no. But the person that was leading it were the North. Remember what he said? Remember what that professor said? You know the professor I'm talking about, the one that was speaking 2-3 days ago when Nigeria was played. He said, the North will resist if President Tinubu bring in American soldiers on ground. If he give them a place on ground in Nigeria, they will resist with whatever they've gotten. And that game is set. Now, the power itself has moved to the south. Through who? Through President Tinubu. Remember again, when Tinubu went to England, he said one thing. They said he's going to sort of look at his government, how far they've gone. He went there to give a report card to the imperialists. That is what he went there to do. Because no government in the surface of the earth will now move its power to another country and now tell it it's going to assess how far his government has gone. And every spokesperson of his government spoke exactly that he just went there to scrutinize how far his government has gone. I want to move over to this side. Now, there's one man called Andrew Abdullahi. I don't know if many of you know. He's part and parcel of people that bless Tinubu. He said one thing. He said, if you go to the Sun 2024 release, he said Nigeria amalgamation was made in 1914. That the amalgamation ended in 2014. That it is time for us to come together. This was when they now knew that the trust of the imperialists has shifted to the south. Because one thing that made the imperialists to shift is they don't want to have any affiliation with the Russian people at all. Now the North is having an affiliation indirectly with Russia through Niger Republic. That is what is going on. And they never, as you watch what David said, he said they never want to get any affiliation or anybody to contest the place they are acquiring, which is Nigeria. They don't want anything, not Russia, to come near. That's why you see the fight in Ukraine now. Now, the politics Tinubu is now the anointed person from the Imperialists. They know because they now trust him because he's playing the game. And most of the tools they are using to play this game is the World Bank, the IMF. Who gives the loan? It is the World Bank or the IMF. Nigeria don't go to African Bank to take loan. They rarely go there. But they go to World Bank, and World Bank will tell you what to do. Who is telling us that Nigeria economy is gradually going up? It is the World Bank. Who is telling that the Nigeria economy is going down? It is the World Bank. Why is it the World Bank? Why is our CBN not speaking how our economy is going up? Whether they don't give you report card about the economy, they cannot because they are subject to the imperialists. That is what is going on. And Andrew Abdullahi said one thing. I will tell you for one thing that the leader of the North said. He said, we have come together not by our own power, but by the imperialists. And it has passed the time where we come together to speak again. Because of one thing, we have no affiliation. We have no religious connection. The imperialists brought us together. So therefore, we must talk now. If we don't talk, if we go for the election, they don't care. Whatever person you bring from the North, from the South, they don't want Tinubu. They are bent. And they said, Andrew said again, said, if they rig it, it's going to be like an Armageddon because they are not going to accept it. They will stand their ground, and if anybody in the South join them, it's better. But this fight is their own fight. They will not allow Tinubu to come back for the second time. Why? Because the trust. They no longer, the imperialists no longer trust the North again. But they told them, you own more than 50% of the oil rig. If you push further, we'll take it from you. We'll take it. That is one thing they hold against them. But I don't know how they're going to fall. But the amalgamation, what the parties are doing now, it's not going to work. One, Tinubu is not going to register any party. Two, Tinubu is going to bring in another INEC chairman, and it's not going to come from the North, it's going to come from the South. But my problem again is, the North, when they are together, they will pretend to be with you. Remember what happened to Wike? They will pretend to be with you. But at the tail end, they will jump. They will jump again to support who? Their brothers. That is one thing we should know. That is, they can plant anything in your region to give information because they have everything. Everything they have to get information from Tinubu camps, from Obi camp, from any other camp. Therefore, this election that is coming now is not going to be like Tinubu can play a card because they are going to write it. What Nigeria just said is true. They are going to write it. That's why he said he played the card. He said they are not going to use the card, the normal card again. They are going to just line up. Maybe they are going to option A4. And anybody that think that they are going to change the electoral law to suit us is virtually impossible. The only electoral law that they will put in place for us to win this election is to make it electronic and must be on real time. That is the only way. Anything short of that, you ain't going to win the election because Tinubu has been backed by the powers that controls your mineral resources, the powers that is taking people down and they're taking control of it. Why do you think that the French came in? The French are working with them. Why do you think so? You think they just came in to give support without no kickback? It's lie. They have their own kickback. That is why the Italian president said, Prime Minister said one thing. He said, without Africa, France will be a third world country. That is a very significant thing. That is why I told you guys that what David spilled out, it requires critical analysis and reasoning to know where the ball is shifting. He said the Nigerian politicians are just caretakers. He said it. It was defined. And that is what I discovered. And I said it. They are just looking, but I'm not the one doing the thing. If they do contrary what they've stated in the playbook, they all will be taken down with the process that you people created, like the EFCC and the DSS. That is what they do. And all this apparatus that have been set up in Nigeria is not from the people. It's never from the people. It is from a particular circle of people that is allegiance to the Imperialists. That is why you see them. That is why you see that England, you don't see them talking. They are the most smartest kind of people you can see on earth. That with so much deal with this country. They said you are not supposed to be rich. That means they have the power to choose who is going to be rich in your country. That is why you see politicians now. They are the rich people instead of businessmen, but the politicians. That's why you see Dangote is now telling you who was playing to the regalia is now telling you that they take $52. 52 naira from 1 naira for every cement being sold, they are paying the government $50 or $52, 52 naira. In every 1 naira that he had, he's giving the government 52. So that's to tell you, he's leaking it out. He has two tentacles now, one with his own tribesmen and one with Tinubu to protect his own investment. Because what is going on now is power play, and this power play is being dictated not by Nigerians, not by Tinubu, but by outsiders. Because if you look at the North, their mindset, they cannot stab their brother at the back. That's one problem I'm having. I'm waiting for that break so that we can see clearly, because I cannot see clearly now. But one thing I assure you, Tinubu will not give us a new electoral law. If he gives us a new electoral law, he will just hold some parts. But the part that will make the result go will still be manual. What we need for you to win the election, this is, they actually state it clear. It must be real-time transfer of the result, real-time, and the real-time result must be calculated by the system. What the INEC does to just do is just to announce who won. But for them to transfer it electronically and put it on the desk for them to write, there will be a fantastic rigging in your eye. In your eye, they are giving budget now. They are using 330 million to do one electric pole. This one, they will rig it in our eye. Nothing we can do. If you do anything, they will bring the military and block everywhere, and everybody will just go to sleep. That is what it is. We need to, what we need to do, we need to go out and decide among ourselves. Do we want to let it go on like this, or do we want to stick our neck out? Whatever that will happen, let it happen. But God will see that we are fighting to make a change. Like the Bible will always say, faith without action is dead. What we are doing, your pastors are in with them. All of them are in with them. They don't have, that's why Pastor the between pastors said, let all of us pray. That is the only thing they will do. They are part of this game. They know the game. They've been told part of the game. That's why I said there are some information that you will hear. You won't be able to talk. You will keep quiet. That is what all the pastors, all the obas and kings, that is what they've heard. They cannot talk. They have been silent forever. In the budget, their money is there. Their own part of the share is there. Any loan they take, they are not going to use it for you. They are going to use it to make sure that the establishment is functioning. All the tools, all the machine of the establishment is being oiled, is being taken care of, so that it can function at its optimal point. And they are at their optimal point now. Because what is happening in Nigeria, they want it to be like that forever. This is when that's why when somebody came here to say a black man is wicked, that man is talking out of ignorance. Ignorance of what he has not even seen, he has not even read. I said yesterday, when you want to hide anything from the black man, put it in a book. Or one thing, put it in a small chips and give it to him to go and study it. He will never, he will throw it. And the next day will be looking for it. That is how it is. That is why we need to, I said it here, the problem is not only within. The bigger one is outside. The person you are talking about, Shore there, ask him how much from 2014 to 2018, who is funding his press? It is David, or you, David said it. Go and look at it, said it. He has been receiving $130 million yearly to 2018, and that can be renegotiated. It is not me that said, I'm quoting David. It's on his X page. Go and read it. It's right there. It's on his X page. To $130 million from 2014 till date, till 2018. It is renegotiated to this moment we are now. It's there online. David wrote it there. People should go and read it. It's there. So what you are seeing, when I said this guy is a pawn, I know what I have seen. I know that's why what I've seen, I cannot even mention until David mentioned it. And there are so many people involved in this. The people that you like, that you celebrate, great women, great men, they are all being paid to partake as a pawn, guiding the establishment, guiding the king and the prince. We all are like pawn, but we are not guiding the king and the prince. We are guiding the entire country, which we believe in, which we were born. But they are behaving like us, but they are not guiding the country, but they are protecting the king and the queen. And that is what pawn does in the chess game. That's what pawn does in the chess. That's why I started saying he's a pawn. But Madam Rita said, they will not understand it. I said, I cannot speak, go deeper. Until I saw somebody going deeper, then I'll say, yes, this is my finding. This is confirmed. It is true. That is what David spoke about. It is confirmed. It is true. Anything that David spoke, don't throw it to the wind. There's everything I spoke. There's an evidence that everything I spoke, 95% of it is grounded. That is why you see him is in hiding mode. That's why I told us yesterday that there's some kind of information you will hear. You will run. You won't even be able to speak it. All this one is true, but there are some kind of information you just say, oh, I am out, or you systematically withdraw. And we are seeing some people are withdrawing. That's why I say, as it gets tougher, let us enrich ourselves with more information. Because if it gets tougher, if you are not well equipped with information, you will withdraw from this problem. So therefore, let every one of us get equipped information, because I own no authority of a way out. But if we come together, we can bring up a way out for this thing. I want to thank Nigeria. God bless you, sir.
I can hear you, Mr. Elvis.
Lapata, were you not hearing me calling you?
Oh, I couldn't hear you. I think it went off. I can hear you now.
But that's not nice now. I ring bell.
Sorry. I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Some of you are always doing this here. When I talk, when I pretend like someone not hear me, they talk. And it's not nice.
No, I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
It's not enough. There are other people here that needs to talk. I rang the bell. I waited for another 2 minutes for you to stop. You didn't stop. I kept talking here. Blah pata. You hear the talk, they go.
Oh, it's the system. It cut me off. I thought I was still on. It cut me off.
All right. Thank you very much.
Sorry about that.
All right. Mr. Jonathan, thank you, sir, for your time with us today. Good evening to you. Please talk to us. You have 15 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Elvis. I greet you once again. Good evening.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening there in Lagos. God bless you. I greet my fellow panelists. God bless you. I'm in the diaspora. Welcome once again. God bless you greatly, and all the commenters and the callers. God bless you all. And greatly welcome. There's this idea that has been going on, because when we're talking about Nigeria, and people there's always this bandwagon mentality. without properly analyzing it, sitting down and studying it, analyzing it, so that you don't just follow it for the sake of following it or for the fact that everybody is saying it. It doesn't work like that. And if there's any place where it doesn't work like that, Nigeria is a case study, a perfect one. The fact that in 2014, 2015, there was a coalition does not mean that it will work now. It doesn't add up. It doesn't. And henceforth, as far as I'm concerned, I think I will have to put out my position out there, and I have to back it up strongly that this idea of coalition is not the right one. It's not going to work. And the notion, you see, the premise behind it, what is faulty about it? What is critically faulty about it, analytically faulty about this coalition thing that people are saying is that, oh, if the coalition do not come together or they did not end up forming the coalition, they will split the votes. Isn't that an indictment on every one of us to start with? That they will split the votes. Please, that notion does not add up on the face of it. That idea does not add up on the face of it. Please, let us discard it going forward. Because if you agree with that idea, then all you are simply saying is that Tinubu won in 2023, square and fair, period. He won. There was no rigging. 2023 was split. The vote was split in 2023. Were you saying that Tinubu won in 2023? Of course he didn't. Even on the face of it that the vote was split. See, if the vote were split 10 times over, Tinubu will not win. On a clean slate, Tinubu will still not win. Even if they split the vote 2-3 times over, more than 2023, Tinubu will still not win in Nigeria. Therefore, the only area to focus on is to prevent rigging, fight against rigging. As far as I'm concerned, that's it, period. Anything short of that, even if they do the coalition, they perfect it 10 times over than 2014, 2015, without an allowing rigging to occur, he will still win. Anyways, so the idea is not about this argument that, okay, they are going to split the vote. It doesn't matter. Tinubu will still not win. On a level playing field, Tinubu will not win. So please don't let us, because when you look at the people that are coalescing together, for this coalition thing, these are disappointment. These are failures already. That is why the likes of Rotimi Amaechi, as my sister will always say here, they will say, enter house. You don't have anything to offer. You've had your space. You had the opportunities. For years and years and years, you did nothing. What are you going to do differently now? An Erufai. So the coalition is not the same as that of 20. We must look at it critically. It is not the same. The temperature is not the same. The political space is not the same. The political players are not the same. And on top of it all, even if there is a split of votes, Tinubu will still not win. He will not win. The only thing is for everybody to come together and prevent and fight against rigging, either through the electoral reform, or people defend their votes. I don't know, whichever way they want to do it, but that's just the way. But this idea that the coalition, because that is what they are selling. That's what they are selling. They sell stuff to Nigerians. They repeat it over and over again, shovel it down their throat, and people will start carrying it, and before you know it, everybody agrees with it. And that brings me to the same thing with to the economy. It is the same strategy. When one of the areas that the opposition, all of them, one area that they have not been able to tackle effectively is this question that APC has been throwing at them. What will you have done differently? Because all of you mentioned that you will remove subsidy. You will float the naira. So what is it that you will have done differently? And because they have not been able to tackle it effectively, articulately, in a clear manner, they continue to bring it on. But I think it is time now for us to begin to help them, because I think so that it is our responsibility, because they are not responding well, appropriately. That's why it kept on coming. The moment we start handling it well, they will bury it. That one will be silent. They won't bring it on again. They will not bring it on again. Yes, all of them said they are going to remove subsidy. They are going to float the naira. But we need to ask them that floating the naira, removing the subsidy, what is the effect today? What is the impact on the Nigerian people today, the Nigerian economy today? If I remove subsidy and I float the naira, the impact is not going to be the same, because I will have done it differently. I will have done it differently. How? Every naira and kobo saved from subsidy will be seen clearly, transparently by Nigerians. And the areas where that money is spent will be obvious and clear for everybody to see. I cannot float the naira without a thriving manufacturing industry. You can't do that. You can float the naira all you like. And that was the reason why Rufai asked Felix Moka a very, very important question in this regard. He asked him, and it deflected. It did not even go there. And you can see, if you look at that video, watch that video again, you see the demeanor of Felix Moka. He knows that this is fire. It's like I'm inside fire. Now, how am I going to get out? When Rufai was posing that question, he asked himself a very simple one, very direct, but it's a trap. It was a very big trap that is set for him. And he knew. He said, please tell us the benefit of a cheap naira. Naira is cheap now, right? You can pack a load of naira. It will look as if you have a lot of money. That's what it means to be cheap. 1,500, 1,600 naira to $1. By the time you take $100, you are talking of hundreds of thousands of naira. By the time you take a $10,000, you are talking of about 15, 16 million. You need Ghana must go to handle $25,000. Yes. You have $25,000 now or $50,000, you need Ghana must go. That's cheap naira. And if you have that load of money, the question is, what is the benefit of it? The more money you have, the more benefit you get. But what is the benefit of cheap naira? He couldn't answer that question. It is worthless. There is no benefit. So what is the essence of floating? The essence of floating is for you to get a benefit from that cheap money, which we are not getting. That is again, you cannot sit down and defend this government and not appear and sound like a fool each and every time. A testament today, Felix Moka. There's no way you can defend this government without sounding and appearing, sounding like a fool. He even said, Tinubu can wake up in the morning and just peg the Naira. These are the issues you need to, because these are the areas they use to come out every day. And I mean it, every day on national TV, at every opportunity that they have. These are the things they talk about. These are their talking points. He said Tinubu can come out and peg the Naira, 1 Naira to $1. Mr. Felix Moka, he can't do that. If you don't know, maybe this one will be good. This talk will be good. This response will be good to the finance minister or to the CBN governor. Perhaps not to you, because you have no clue. You just come here to lie. You come out here to lie. You don't even have knowledge of it. He can't. He cannot peg it. How will you peg Naira to $1? Say it is 1 for 1. Okay, if he comes out and he do that, where is the dollar? If I want to buy the dollar, where will I get the dollar from? There will be no dollar. Okay, there will be no dollar. That is the reason why. That is the simple response to you, because you don't have clue. You can't do it, because even though you have your Naira, there will be no dollar to convert it to. Everybody will take their dollar and they will run. Everybody will take their dollar and they will run as fast as the speed of light. So you can get all the Naira that you want, no dollar. What is the implication? Dollar will become more expensive to get. So it can't work. And the reason why it cannot work, again, we don't know how many times we are going to say this to shovel it down your throat for you people to understand. I don't understand that without a vibrant, productive economy, it cannot work. You can float it all you like. You can peg it all you like. It's not going to work. Without a vibrant manufacturing industry, without export, it's not going to work. Where will the dollar be coming in? Even if you peg it, because you are not bringing it in. You can only give what you have. You can't give what you don't have. You have to go and sell outside so that you can earn the dollar and bring it in to match your Naira. But you are not getting it, because there's no production. There's no export. So I think these are the areas where the opposition are not handling it very well, and that's why they. Yes.
Sorry, I sorry to interject. You're actually jumping quickly because of your analysis on these. And I think maybe for Nigerians to really understand with what you're saying, sir. What is it? I think about what is the essence of having too many naira when you cannot buy you a loaf of bread? Because one piece of dollar can buy you about 10 breads. And the one having that dollar must go naira when they can even buy you 1 loaf of bread.
That is it. There's no benefit. The cheap naira now, if your currency is cheap, it's supposed to be of value, because it's supposed to be of value. If I have loads of naira, you have loads of it. I take $10,000 now, convert it to naira. That's about 15-16 million naira. That's a lot of money. But what will 15-16 million naira give me in Nigeria? Millions. We're talking of millions now. Can it even buy a car, a brand new vehicle? Can you use it for a down payment for a house? Can it even last you to send your child to a good quality school in Nigeria for 2 years in a row? To be paying the tuition of your child for 2 years in a row to a quality standard school in Nigeria? Of course not. Your 15 million is gone. It doesn't have value.
So there is no benefit for a cheap naira. And the idea is that, oh, if we float it, it will be cheap. And what is the benefit of it? So these are the I think these are the areas. And then let me quickly come to Sowore finally, and then I can step aside there. See this man. It's another problem that we have in Nigeria. And for me, I think Sheung did a good job in that interview today. And I believe Sheung is watching media like Niger Watch. I believe so. Because the questions he was asking him were those that were posed on this platform. I don't know, maybe other platform or other areas, social media have come up with the same questions or whatever. But at least, yeah. But he did it in a very stylish way. Sheung did it in a very stylish way. And he was looking at him. He didn't want to appear disrespectful to him or combatant to him or make him uncomfortable. But he was posing those questions to him, like jokingly. He asked Mr. Sowore, he said, what will you have done differently economically? Because Sowore liked to talk about the economy. When he himself now is clear, he has no clue. He said, what will you have done? What will you do differently? Sowore said he will undo it from the monetary perspective. I just laughed. And then he went on, he went on ranting again. He went on ranting, eating all those, all those buttons, all the right buttons, his talking point.
He doesn't have any clue of economy at all.
No. Not at all. Not at all. He doesn't have any clue at all. So there's no time to deal with that. When he said he will undo it from the how can you manage or run a successful economy through monetary policy alone? How? It cannot be. It cannot be. You need the executive branch.
But sorry, sir, Mr. Jonathan.
Yes.
All right. I've rang the bell. Thank you.
When they went to school, they forget the principle of demand and supply and manufacturing in an economy.
Yes, of course. Anyways, Mr. Elvis, thank you very much. We leave it there for now. Thanks, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Jonathan. God bless you, sir. I appreciate you. All right, before I move on to the next person, which is Madam Rita, I would like to quickly celebrate one of our own here. Madam Eugenia, happy birthday to you. It just got to my notice now that it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you, man. I wish you the best ever life can give. And thanks for all that you do for us here on this platform throughout the years. I'm very, very grateful. I wish you good health and long life. Thank you for everything. Happy birthday, guys. Help us to wish this lady, as you can see right there, that name there, happy birthday on the comment section, and people on the panel, in case you want to do the same thing, please, let's be celebrating each other's. Because sometimes when somebody writes on the comment section, it's my birthday, some people go see and they'll jump past them. It's not nice. It's not nice. Let's always celebrate each other's. Thank you very much, everyone. I appreciate you all. I would like to call on Madam Rita. Madam Rita, it's good to have you on the show. Good evening to you, ma'am. Please talk to us. You have 8 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Elvis. Mr. Elvis, don't sir.
Big auntie, welcome back.
Which one is big auntie? Please, I beg. I'll not be using that one because of black soup. You're calling me big auntie. I beg you. Good afternoon, Mr. Elvis. My lovely Iye Lamei mommy. And Mr. Jonathan, good afternoon, sir. Black Panther, good afternoon. And my darling brother, give us our mandate. Sorry, I'm not wearing my glasses. I don't know the next person who is there. Good afternoon. And Lady Eugenia, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. I wish you were here with me in Canada, in Ontario. Definitely, I will deliver my signature black suit. But however, you're on my list. Because it's your birthday today, and I happen to be on the panel, you are on the list. Yes, you have made it to my list. I'm going to deliver black soup anytime, any day you come to Ontario, Canada. I am here for you. Happy birthday again, and I hope you enjoy yourself fully. And thank you, Mr. Elvis. There's something you said. He said, we need to start celebrating ourselves, because life is too short. Tomorrow is not promised. So happy birthday to those people who are shy like me, that don't want to mention their birthdays when it happens, but happy birthday to everybody. If you're born in the month of June, happy birthday. But today is Lady Eugenia's birthday. Happy birthday, ma. Going back to the topics. Where can I start from? So, okay. I know I've been back and forth in the program. Felix Moka is a typical example of someone who just went to university for nothing. He's a total waste. He just wasted whatever resources that was used to train him from the time he was in kindergarten. If he ever went to kindergarten, to this stage in his life, is a total waste. Because I say so because as educated as he claimed he is, he said he's a Harvard graduate. As educated as he claimed he is, he's on national TV, deceiving people, lying, all because of a drop barrel. That's shameful. That's a waste. That's a waste of education. That's a complete waste. I don't know, and that's somebody's father, and that's somebody's husband, that's somebody's uncle. So if you can defend somebody who is a satanic person with the kind of draconian administrator, you come on TV to defend such a person. What are you advising your children? What are you even advising your younger ones? So I don't know. Like, what's wrong with us? Black Panther, there's something you said that somebody mentioned earlier in this program at some time that a black man is wicked. I think you were trying to talk about imperialism and who are really the imperialists, really, because you were not really, really specific, but I would say that person, whoever mentioned it, wasn't wrong. I think what should have been added as well to say black man is wicked. I mean, we live in a wicked world. Yes, it's a man's world. Yes, I have acknowledged that all the time. But however, they are cowards and they are brave people. Ibrahim Traore is a brave man. In the Nigerian context, we have cowards that we call leaders. Yes, we are cowards. We have cowards as leaders, as political elites. Yes. Cowards and selfish people. In fact, extremely selfish people. Because we have read in so many books about someone like Mandela that sacrificed his life. Do you think Mandela wasn't given perks to just stay away from this apartheid stuff, the apartheid story and the apartheid campaign? Thabo Mbeki, all the people from the ANC, do you think they didn't give them juicy positions or juicy contracts, or they tried to give them something just for them to just drop this apartheid campaign that was spreading like wildfire all over the world? They didn't. They had the opportunity. They didn't. They had the opportunity. They did not succumb. Nnamdi Kanu that was kidnapped from Kenya, regardless of whatever you guys say about Biafra, I'm not interested about Biafra. I am interested about the man. Nnamdi Kanu that was kidnapped with the collaboration of Nigerian government, the West and Kenyan governments. They kidnapped him. Please, let's stop using the word extradition, or I don't know what Dr. CM say. There's no. Let's just say the word as it is. Last say there's nothing like he laundered money. He stole money. Use the word. Not thief. They kidnapped Nnamdi Kanu. As that man is incarcerated, wherever he is, do you think they're not giving him different offers? Why do you think the man is still standing? He's still suffering. His family is still suffering. Look at what he went through. His parents passed on. Do you think they didn't give him? Because he's not a coward and he's not greedy. Now, if somebody comes to this program or this panel or this honorable channel, by the way, please share this program and like, and says that black people, it would be unfair to say black people because Ibrahim Traore is a black man. Thabo Mbeki, Patrice Mulumba, just name them. They are all black men. So I will not say black people are wicked. Nigerian people are wicked and selfish. I'm a Nigerian. I am saying it. Nigerian people are selfish and are wicked because of the things happening in the country right now. Everyone is, at least majority of them are keeping mute. Mr. Elvis is sacrificing his time. I cannot do what he's doing. If most of you who come here every single day, whether you're a panelist or you're just, or you're watching from your house every other day, or you're commenting, Mommy Diaspora, these are Nigerian that I'm proud of, that sacrifice their time. They are speaking with the best way they can. Right? But the people who are actually driving the vehicle, they are in the vehicle, and the driver is tossing and turning. The driver is drunk, and people are just quiet in the car, looking at the driver swerving around, the road bumps, and they're not even trying to stop him. They're not even trying to at least even hold the steering. They're not even trying to at least shout to say, what are you doing? Stop it. Nothing is happening. Even the bystanders are the Nigerians who are busy talking about 3310 and Percy Blow Blow. That's all. Or who is married or who is not, or who took whose boyfriend, or which legislator went to go and carry a musician. Those are what they're talking about. It's sad. Nigerians are cowards. Yes, I said so. Nigeria, and that is the truth. And I say, and do you know why these things are happening, where they can even make fuel 5,000 naira a liter? Because they know Nigerians are cowards. They know now. This electoral reform that we keep shouting, Mr. Randy Peters, wherever you are, God bless you. At least you are teaching. There's proof that you are teaching the generations, their rights, what they need to demand. Randy Peters that goes around about electoral reforms. We've talked about it here, like even from last year or even beyond. We've been talking about electoral reforms. But however, like what Black Panther said, this man will not allow any political party to be registered. This man will do anything to make 2027 happen for him, not for Nigerians. This man from Bodilon will also we are predicting, because these men are all pussycats. I'm going to use the word predicting. I am predicting that he demand from Bodilon is going to change the INEC chairman, most likely from the West. Because right now, there's tribalism in Nigeria. Let's not kid ourselves. Even if he has to pick somebody just to make it look like not overly too obvious, he'll pick somebody from the East. That's what's going to happen. Yeah. So that is why my case of saying I am not interested in 2027, I am standing by it. I'm not even going to convince anyone. Go and vote. Speaking about coalition, Peter Obi, do not collude with anybody. The fact that you don't want to collude with anybody, it doesn't mean that you don't love Nigeria or you hate people from the West or the East or the South or the North or the Middle Belt. It doesn't mean you hate them. You see what happened in 2023? You did not need coalition. You left a giant party, well, it's actually an ant party right now with the schemes of things, PDP, and you went to one little chihuahua called Labour Party, and you won the election. Fair, and we won the election flat, and it wasn't along tribal line, because the people of Lagos State, whether you want to call them Yoruba or Awori or foreigners or whatever, they voted for you overwhelmingly. The South voted for you. Southeast voted for you. Even the North, I know two Nigeria came here and said Peter Obi doesn't have a chance in it. I remember that program very well. He said Peter Obi doesn't have a chance in the North. He's Igbo, he's new, they will not accept it. Peter Obi won in the North now. National State, Peter Obi won. Even the Abuja that we sit on, that is the most controversial place, Abuja, FCT, Peter Obi won. He didn't need coalition. Who are you making coalition with? Mikano? Or the midget from Kaduna? Or is it Amaechi? Like, seriously? And this man have been there. As Phyllis Moka said, Amaechi has been in government. He's 60 years old. He's about 35 years. And we're still talking about what's Amaechi going to give us now? Like, seriously, it's so comical to even think that these players were going to bring something fantastic that would transform the country to some fantastic fertile land of flowing with milk and honey. They can do it with a snap of finger just because they collided together like Voltron. All of a sudden, they are the Voltron now that will transform Nigeria. It ain't gonna happen. It is not going to. Even the so-called electoral law that Randy Peters, God bless him, that has been preaching to the entire nation. As Black Panther said, when he goes to the Senate, that's filled with sexual predators. When he goes there, what do you think will happen? Even if they want to even tweak the electoral law, do you think it's to the favor of Nigerians? It's like, I don't know. Like, I'm trying so hard because of the rules of this platform. I don't know. Nigerians, what do you really want? What exactly do you really want? Do you want to play this deja vu game again with different faces? No, it's not even different faces. It's the same people, but wearing a different garment. Election will not change Nigeria. Nigeria cannot change by the ballots. I'm going to repeat it. Nigeria as a country, as we know it today, 2025 to 2027, will not change by the ballots. Nigeria will not change by the ballots. That's why I'm not supporting 20. I'm not interested. I'm just going to be spitting the facts of what I know. But to say, let us go and vote. Peter Obi, please. This coalition, it does not have any head. I do not support it. I can be breaking some people's hearts. I can be breaking some people's hearts. Well, that's not my problem. I'm telling you out of love because I love Nigeria. I love my country. And I'm proud of where I come from. I display it. I wear it anywhere I go. Anywhere I go, I'm not ashamed. I'm a Nigerian. I'm from Edo State. I'm a proud Benin woman, proud of my culture. I wear the clothes even to work. Yes, I wear Nigerian clothes in a place where people are professionals. I do. That's how much I am so Nigerian. So nobody come and tell me that, because you live abroad. No, I promote where I come from proudly. So I do not support 2027. Please don't waste your time because nothing's going to change. Thank you very much, Mr. Elvis.
All right, Madam Rita, thank you very much. Yes, it's your choice. You have a right to your freedom of association. You don't support it, you don't support it. So there's nothing anyone can do about that. Like I stated earlier on, that if electoral reform is not properly put in place, I'm not going to support anybody 2027, but my platform will be open for everyone. That's it, because it's mind draining. Doing something that you already know that you'll be ringed out. It's crazy now. But still, I'd like us to move on. Let me call on give us a mandate. It's good to have you on the show. Good evening to you. Please talk to us. All right, Mr. Alabo, talk to us. Good evening to you. You have 8 minutes. Mr. Alabo is not available. I'll move on now to Mr. Jonathan for finance.
Let me just speak. Well,
go ahead.
Greetings to you. Thank you. The panelists. Madam Rita, I don't know if I can request for them to clap for you, but thank you very much. Panelists, I greet you all. I greet you, and I greet comment section. You see, one thing is we must truly understand that an outsider will not come and destroy your house without your own permission. And there's no other way I can say, Madam Rita, that you have said it. We have argued it here, we have said it here. These guys are evil. There's no truth about it. And I thank you for your analysis. Let's see Mandela is the case. Torre is the case. The Nigerian people are evil. More so, Nigerian politicians are wicked than the devil. And now you tell me one imperialism or no imperialism. Who cares about imperialism? Who cares about imperialism? Imperialism in what way? Imperialism massive. But by the way, the man that said that the black man is wicked, it's not one person. It's Mr. Odua, and I supported him on that day here. So Mr. Odua has a name.
Mr. Odua said it, and I supported him. The white man is asking you to kill your own people, and you are doing it with your own volition. And by the way, just yesterday, the Nigerian military just spied 20 vigilantes in Zamfara. It was the white man that asked them to do it. It was the white man. So we just keep talking about the white man, imperialism, and all that. Well, the Nigerians, we will need to stand up and fight for our own country. Nobody will do it for you. An example in case, in the budget, one street light, over 200 and something million naira, the white man told you to inflate your own budget against your own people. We need to stand up. And like Anarita said in her closing, Nigeria will not change by the balance. We need to define a means by which we change Nigeria or save Nigeria. And you said it in your own word. We must stick our neck out there. You said this again. Thank you. You've been on this since about 2 years running now, without any break. On vacation, you'll be on media. You are paying your own price. Nigerians need to stand up and pay their price. It is so disgusting, so painful, so sickening when you see the like of Felix Smoker, they speak. And Madam, like you said about Felix Smoker, if Trump has succeeded in what he's doing against Harvard, maybe some Nigerians should be glad, because this character, Moka, went to Harvard. Is this what he was taught in Harvard? Wasted education, wasted resources, wasted energy and everything. And like we said here, you cannot support APC, most of Tinubu government, and not be a fool. You must be a fool, because these guys don't mean well for Nigeria. Now going to the coalition. I asked here some days ago when one of our brothers came here and was talking about you can use Aerofire. And the question here is, just like what this man said, this for our brother, I forgot his name now, he's a barrister from the East. He said, it's just like supporting Aerofire would look like standing on the grave of those that were pied in Kaduna State. Because several Nigerians were pied in Kaduna State during Aerofire's government. What have we heard? What has been done? Nothing. And now we're talking about coalition. Mr. Peter Obi does not need any of this guy to become the president. He has everything in his capacity. Nigerians love him. And by the way, he's the president of the country. In case you don't know, because he goes everywhere to go help the Nigerian people. So we don't need no coalition. We don't need to Aerofire. As a matter of fact, one question I will ask is, Amaechi, Amaechi, will he knock his chest and say that the money of River State or some of the things that he did when he was a governor or a minister, some things he entered his own pocket. So now, when he's not favor them, they are looking for a means to want to. But by the way, what we are into today in the country was caused by Amaechi, by Aerofire, because these are the guys that brought in Boko Haram. These are the guys that actually brought in Boko Haram into the country, and now they are dealing with it. So for me, we don't need no coalition. Mr. Peter Obi, you are capable of on your own to win the election. If it's done, like Mr. Jonathan said, if the election is conducted on a level playing ground, because the last election, Peter Obi won it. Peter Obi beat Tinubu in his own Lagos. I said he did. And by the way, Tinubu did not build Lagos. Tinubu destroyed Lagos State. Tinubu destroyed. Buba was the governor of Lagos State under military regime. He was putting Agberos. He was putting behind bar. As soon as Tinubu became the governor, he let loose of the Agbero. Go and see Lagos State today. Agbero is taken everywhere in Lagos State. So Tinubu did not build Lagos. Tinubu destroyed Lagos State. Tinubu destroyed Lagos State. And Peter Obi beat Tinubu in the Lagos that is coming that he built, that he destroyed. So for me, the coalition, you don't need it. Most of who are you coalescing with? With Amaechi? With Amaechi? Don't forget that during this Amaechi himself, they talk about the rail, he built rail. Don't forget that they killed a doctor, a female doctor was tied under the Amaechi, under the Amaechi. A female doctor was tied on her way traveling to, I think she was coming from either from the north. She was tied. A female doctor was tied. And many people were tied during this Amaechi them. So for me, you cannot sit down and eat with this devil. These guys are devil. So if you cannot stand on your own, Mr. Peter, you have done more. You have done more for Nigeria than any of these politicians. I would just advise you, sit down, sir. Sit down. Because joining hand with El-Rufai will be that we are joining hand with evil men. People were pied under El-Rufai in Kaduna State. Under Amaechi as a minister of transportation. During when they are building the rail road about what they did, people were pied. These guys didn't see anything. And you can say, okay, they are not getting any change anymore. That's what they are crying. Mr. Peter, you are too clean. You are too clean. You are too pure than to join with these guys. I will advise you, if Nigerians will not support you, coalition will not save you. Just sit down. So you have done enough. Last Niger State, he just went to give them money and gave them a trailer of food. Tinubu is gallivanting around with
All right. I guess you are done because everywhere is silent. Can anybody hear
The
me?
network,
Yeah, I
the
can hear
network
you.
kick am
I
out
think it's his
somehow.
network.
The way you do
Maybe
me that
where
time, I
he
say you
is.
happy to ram.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. That's fine. Thank you very much. Oga Labo will call you again for the second time. Please talk to us. You have 8 minutes.
Alabo is
Oga
out
Labo,
now. Alabo is out.
okay, you're also having a network problem. Oga Labo,
No,
will come back
Alabo
later.
is,
It's on the
like saying no
screen.
did it,
Can't you see?
but it's not showing. That means network is still affecting him.
His network is affecting. Okay, that's fine. Let's have our final submission. Let me go straight to Mr. Jonathan. Mr. Jonathan, thank you, sir, for your long wait. Please, final submission, 2 minutes. Mr. Jonathan is not there.
I'm here, Mr.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you, sir. Talk to us. 2
Yeah.
minutes, sir.
Okay. Hey, Mr. Elvis, nothing much to say, at least with respect to today's presentation. I think it's just, I think that is what it is, today. Other than to just, buttress further the statement made by Okonkwo, I believe somewhere today when he was still talking about this, about this government, again, that you can't do anything, you cannot appear without, standing and appearing foolish if you are supporting this, And then somebody was also talking, one of them, I believe it was Felix Smoker again, because these are the things they are selling to Nigerians, and these are the things they will now sell come as we enter into 2027 going forward. That Nigeria is doing well. One of them said the Nigerian economy, they stand in front of national TV sat down there and said the Nigerian economy is doing well. These people they are living in a different world, you know. And then I believe it was somebody who was talking about that people are buying, Nigeria is raising money, people are buying the Nigerian bond, you know. And I believe it was Rufai who will not buy it. Who will not buy the bond of Nigeria when you put a price tag of 25% on it? Who will not buy that one? The question you and I will have to ask is, where is the money? Where is the money? See, the country cannot move forward, though. It's not a doom saying, no. The country cannot move forward. You see all this money that they are borrowing. When they borrow it, they steal it. Just understand this step, this scenario that I'm painting here. They borrow the money, they loot the money amongst themselves. The money that Nigeria is making, the revenue, that is the revenue that Nigeria is making, they will now use it to repay the money back. If anything is left over, then where is money for development at all? So it's going to be a cycle. They will go and borrow, they will waste it, mismanage it, loot it, and then the revenue that is coming in, they will use it to go and repay. So where is the development coming from? Where? It's just a cycle. They borrow, they loot. They say Nigeria makes money, they use that money to pay, or they use that money to be servicing the debt. So there is nothing for development. A government will announce a budget, and more than 80% of that budget, they have to borrow to finance it. There is no money to finance the budget. They have to go and borrow like 80%. And then when you borrow that one, the next year comes again, you have to borrow again. And then you will say Nigeria has made money. Hear Mr. Tinubu talking. Just hear Mr. Tinubu talking when he submitted this request to borrow $22+ billion. Hear what he said. And somebody is coming on national TV to tell us that it's just a plan. They are not going to borrow it. Are you talking to morons? They will borrow the monies they have borrowed since yesterday. And hear Mr. Tinubu talking to the National Assembly in his own words. He said this money is needed because of subsidy removal. This borrowing is needed because of subsidy removal. Mr. Tinubu talking now. This money is needed to be borrowed. But I guess when you remove subsidy, there will be some money that will be saved. I didn't know that removing subsidy will lead you to borrowing more. Can you just hear that line? That is what they don't want you to hear. But he has to write it down. He has to write it down and put his signature on it because there must be a reason for it, and the reason must be tangible. Even though they are not going to look at it for whatever reason. They are not going to challenge it. You said you want to borrow because you remove subsidy. But you told us that when you remove subsidy, there will be money left. There will be left over to do other things. So why are you engaging on borrowing now? Mr. Tinubu said in that statement, because for me, his statement, that is the statement that the statement that Akpabio, what Akpabio read, I think about last week, Monday or so, when Mr. Tinubu presented that plan to them. The letter written by Mr. Tinubu was read by Akpabio on the floor. So it was Mr. Tinubu's statement. He said this money that they will borrow, he said they will use it for power. Nigerians, please, let us see the state of power, electricity, by October, by the end of this year. He said the money they will borrow, he said they will use it for health care. He said this money that they will borrow, they will use it for railway. But I thought you also said that when you remove subsidy, the money that you remove for subsidy will be used for health care, will be used for power and for education. So where is it now? These are criminals in broad daylight. And I think these are the sensitive questions that we Nigerians need to be asking ourselves, to be asking the government, apart from discussing it amongst the book, to be putting it in front of them. Nobody, if you ask Felix Moka this question, I'm telling you, he's not going to answer it. He's going to be romancing around other things, irrelevant stuff. And finally, again, let me say this. Let me buttress it further. I know panelists have mentioned it here, but let me add my own voice to it. Forget about this coalition thing. The people around this coalition, they have no integrity of any kind. So forget about it, and forget about the idea that without coalition, they will split the vote. That's a lie from the pit of hell. No vote is going to be split. If you and I begin to say that and supporting that, it simply means that Tinubu won in 2023, which you and I know he didn't win anything.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Mr. Jones.
Thanks very much.
Black Panther, please talk to us. 2 minutes.
2 minutes. It passed 2 minutes. So. Thank you, Naija Watch. Jonathan spoke more than 2 minutes. I'm watching the time here. So make you know they tell me that it is another. Anytime you enter that thing, I they watch time like this because I know see if you change table. Not before my head, they go change table. Naija Watch. Odionwe, thank you very much. Once again. And I want to say here that Mr. Jonathan, thank you for going the economics way. You see, one thing I love about this Naija Watch, there are departments, and we should acknowledge it. I want to thank Naija Watch. I want to thank Jonathan for a sound economic analysis. Yes, I doff my cap for that. I want to say thank Madam Rita for going headlong, no adulteration. But there are some things I don't agree with some aspect. But you later, you corrected it somehow. I want to join hand with you to say we cannot get this country through the ballot box. Every plan, everything point towards stifling the neck of every Nigerian and get power by force from them. We are just going, any Nigerian that goes out to vote, it's just to affirm that they did election. That is what that Nigeria will do. And I want to say, secondly, give us our mandate. Do you know what is happening in Cameroon? You got to go and sit down and watch what is happening in Cameroon. Then when you digest what is happening in Cameroon, you will understand where I'm coming from. And I want you to sit down on your own. Go and watch what happened to Burkina Faso. When you sit down with it, you will not have the infantry to discard imperialism. If you don't understand it very well, you need to go to the archive and know what it means, and know how they control the minds of people indirectly. In UK, in New Zealand, they are still under the British. Who is the head of their government? Is the King of England. In Canada, who is the head of their government? Is the King of England. In Australia, who is the head of their government? Is the King of England. And they gathered the African continent with their rule. They gathered them together and named them and formed an organization called Commonwealth of Nations. You think these people are not smart? They know how to galvanize people. They know how to arrest the mind of people. And they know what to do to the people so that they can be subjected to them. They know who to pick among Nigerians, the power brokers, to make them, every one of us, be subjected to their own policies. What is the World Bank, therefore? What is the IMF? Those are the tools of imperialism. If you don't know, let me tell you now. What made Burkina Faso president come out to say, it is high time we break the imperialist hands that govern Africa? Go and ask Burkina Faso president and tell him to his face that tell him to face that damn imperialism. Tell him to his face. A man that has the tools, a man that has information is telling you that I'm cutting the hands of imperialism, and when I speak on it here, you cut me off as if I'm telling Bangladesh. We need to learn to understand things. I was in a forum where the youth of America were discussing. If you see the way they were bringing history, putting it together to know what this man is going to do, everybody understood themselves and they know where they're coming from. Nobody discarded somebody bringing out a point, saying it every day. You think that person is just by the wayside. You need to learn to understand people, and you need to learn to understand where I'm coming from. I'm not coming from a point of view where I just want to talk. I come from a point of view because I went there to acquire this knowledge, and I saw the hands of it affecting Nigeria, Cameroon, Niger Republic, Burkina Faso, and Ivory Coast. They've all cut off their hands. That is why they are free today. They control your mind, they get the people. Why is Nigeria not acting? Do you think you can win, you can take over power using the ballot system to take it? Let me tell you people once now. Obi might not contest. The coalition will not work. One, the reason why the coalition will not work, because if the coalition wants to work, and there's nothing bad in coalition, because coalition is written in some people's constitution. To form a government in South Africa, if you don't have the percentage, 45%, you got to form a coalition with other political parties. I think the same thing with England and some other countries that are practicing parliamentary system of government or whatsoever. So coalition, even borrowing, in the terms of borrowing, it's not a bad word. But can you borrow when you have to sustain your economy? Should you borrow when you have the resources to sustain your economy? That is a question mark. That is why I don't stand with borrowing in this concept. But borrowing in economics is not a bad concept. But in our own times, what we have on ground now, borrowing is satanic. How will a man that have food in his house go and borrow cassava, that has cassava in his house, go and borrow cassava from Madam Rita's house? Does that make sense? That's a simple analogy of what the Nigerian state is doing. And that is what the imperialists, using their tools, World Bank and IMF, want you to do, because they've gone straight into your mind and capture you out. That is why sometimes some of us rebuke what they call imperialism, because they have captured your mind. They don't want you to go that area. They don't want you to leak the information. Look at what David said. David said one thing. He said, when I got over the information they had and I released it, they back down. When you know what they are doing, we are telling you they are stretching the hands of imperialism to Africa, winning the mindset of your leaders. They are taking over. You said, you cannot get them if you don't know what they are doing. You cannot take power if you don't have antidotes. If you don't have a way of grabbing it, you cannot. And that's why I said, I concur with Margarita. You cannot grab power when you have external forces pressuring the force that is against you in your land. You cannot get it to the ballot box. You can only get it by a standstill. And who can do it? The civilians in Africa. They've not done it before. If you have any civilian in Africa that have done it before, that stood still, that stand still and face the barrel of the government, bring it out. I challenge you, bring it out, bring it on, let's see, let's discuss it. That is why I said someday, I spoke clearly, I said the military have the right to stand up firm for their country. And if they cannot do it, then let all of us go our separate way and then all the consequences. Thank you, Nigeria, for doing a beautiful job. And we'll continue to speak and we're going to ask our question. How are we going to take this power? That's the question we should be asking. The coalition cannot work. Election cannot work. How are we going to do it? If you want to go through electoral law, ain't going to happen. Thank you.
And nothing will happen. So there's no need of the question. If you go through electoral law, it's not going to work. If you go to judiciary, it's not going to work. It looks like nothing is going to work under these people. So, you know, everybody is shying away from the right word to use, including me. So let's leave it like that. They dribble ourselves. Thank you. Let me call on Madam Rita. Final submission, 2 minutes.
Mr. Elvis, say we with the dream ourselves.
Yes, now.
Mr. Elvis. Nigeria cannot change by the ballot. I think we all know how Nigeria can change. You know, we cannot say it on the national TV like Nigeria Watch. I don't know what else to say again. I think Mr. Jonathan and my brother give us a Black Panther. You've basically said, you know, most of what I was thinking. But I just want to put it out there. The likes of Shuri, I think at this point, everybody is so heightened by information all over the place. Any person like Shuri that comes out and starts speaking, and we can all read between the lines on what exactly he's doing or what kind of game or tricks he's playing, we should call him out. We should start calling him out. Not only him, just like Felix Moka, we should start calling them out. Don't waste time. And I want to pose this question to those of you who are Shuri's lovers and followers. At least ask yourself, just sit down in a very, very quiet room. Ask yourself, this man that I'm following, what is his ideology? What has he done for Nigeria that can be seen? I'm not talking about himself, for Nigeria that can be seen. Think about all the things he has come out to say. How productive has it been? Is it only to insult the government? What has he done? What effort has he made? You know, to the likes of Peter Obi or any other Nigerian that is outside what we are used to seeing now, to say, let us come together and transform this country. There's none. I want to challenge, in fact, I want a Shore supporter to come to this panel, me and that person. I don't even mind alone, because I have questions to ask that person, why they are following him. This is not a student union government race. It's not, because Shore, I can bet you, cannot even win chairman of his street. Yes, I said it. Shore cannot win chairman of his, even VDM. In fact, VDM is on a higher league. I can't even classify VDM as Shore. I'm not trying to disrespect Shore in any way. People don't get it. They are not in the same league at all. VDM is way higher. This guy just capitalized on gullible Nigerians that were not so privy to a lot of information. But thank God for channels like Mr. Nigeria Watch and so many other good ones that have been coming out now. Everybody's now like an information seeker right now, researcher. It's not like 5 or 10 years ago when Shore would come out and it's like, let us bring back, what was the slogan at that time? Revolution now. All those was just a fluke. It was just a fluke. So he's just out there every other day. It's like anytime he's speaking, I'm like, okay, tell me something new. It's always the same thing. I can always predict what he will say next. So please, the reason why I'm just mentioning Shore, because there are many others like him too. Let's start calling them out, because they're disturbing us. They have nothing to give us. Anybody who has nothing to help Nigeria right now, but for themselves. Let's start calling them out. So because we should not waste time supporting them or even listen to the rubbish that they're talking about. The deceitful words that come out of their buccal cavity. We should not waste time at all. That's my message today. Thank you very much, Mr. Elvis.
Okay, Margarita, your comparison between Amaechi Sowore and Very Dark Man. I don't know, say when it comes to Sowore like this, I can project everything concerning Sowore, but when it comes to commenting, I'm very, very careful. I'm not saying I'm my friend, though. When I remember that.
He's your friend. Yes, he's your friend. But in my own assessment, VDM is a way better Nigerian than Amaechi Sowore, period.
Okay, all right. That's fine. That's fine.
Mr. Naija Watch. Mr. Naija Watch.
Yes, sir.
If you want to talk, if you see your friendship with Sowore, always put it personal. Don't put it in the public anymore. Put it personal, so that they don't paint you. Because Nigeria has a way of painting somebody the same thing, like they say everybody's the same. You understand what I'm saying? Where I'm going to. So let it be personal.
Everybody have their antecedent now. You can't paint anybody.
I know. But when it comes to struggle of emancipation of your people, I cannot
deny my friend just because he's not doing.
You can suspend. That's their problem. That's not Mr. Elvis' problem. That is their problem. They want to think that way.
I'm not saying for him to say discard the friendship. You can suspend the friendship for now because your focus is to
by suspending friendship. I don't understand.
You know what I'm saying.
They suspend friendship. What do they talk?
They suspend on the day for battlefront.
I don't understand your definition of suspension of friendship. I beg. Elvis, move on. If your friend, be proud to say it's your friend. If it's your friend, your friend. But I'm telling you the truth.
No, Margarita, it's just like Black Panther advising me now to suspend my father first because the PDP shifted, right? That's what you are telling me.
No, your father is your blood. It's not. You cannot use your dad.
Is your blood now.
You can say suspend me, Black Panther, from this program.
Tell me, say,
Mr. Elvis, suspend Black Panther.
I will talk.
No, the reason why I mentioned that is because they are supporting what is not making Nigeria better, right? That's what you are saying.
Yes.
You know what you are saying? And so,
my grandmother, let me tell you what. Grandmother, tell me.
Black Panther, you are breaking. You are breaking. We can't hear you. You are breaking.
Your network is breaking.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes. It's still breaking, but it's half and half.
Okay, my grandmother said, don't have somebody you call your best friend, but have friends. It was wisdom. I had to look for interpretation before I got it right.
But I never use the word best friend. You know, like I said.
No, but I don't understand you.
You must understand.
You not going to understand me now because now wisdom they throw out there.
Which wisdom? How does that collude with saying suspend your friend? What your grandmother saying? Everybody's grandparents saying it. Everybody's grandparents saying it. But saying suspend your friendship. Use simple words. If you just say don't collude yourself with him now, you say suspend your friend. I've never heard that before.
The only person who go fit interpret what I talk. Now, mommy diaspora. So go and meet her. She go interpret her for you.
I know how to interpret it myself. But however,
you be English. You be English person. You don't know.
Oh, because I speak English now, you are not judging my knowledge of idioms because I speak English. Mr. Black Panther, I don't want to use certain words on you now. Because I speak English, you are not judging my assessment of how to interpret idioms.
Did I say because you speak English?
What you just said. That's what you just said.
English person.
Do you have a problem with you being? What do you mean by I'm an English person? What do you mean because I'm speaking English or what? What do you mean by that?
African idiom. I'm using African wisdom on it.
So because I speak English, I cannot interpret it.
Yes, you can. You don't understand it. You need somebody out there, an African.
Oh my goodness, Black Panther! I give up. At this stage, I give up. But the battle has not ended, though. I'm going to come back.
Okay, all right. You guys can continue the episode next time. Thank you. Thank you very much. Give us a mandate. You have 2 minutes, sir. Okay, you are not there. Oga Alabo, we called you for the fourth time. If you are there, talk to us. You have 5 minutes.
Mr. Najawash, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Please talk to us. Good evening to you,
Oh,
sir.
thank God. Thank God. Since why they talk that Mr. Najawash, I don't know whether they attack me today. Thank God, say you don't hear me. I don't try fire. I don't know what is happening. I was in for you to struggle for network. I said that Nigeria where you did. Good evening, everyone. Like I stand on the existing protocol.
Although your voice is not very clear, we are struggling to hear you.
Well, can you hear me now?
We are hearing you, but it's not clear. It's like you are talking from underground. Okay. Mr. Alabo,
Okay.
you're dragging us back. No, your network is bad. It's even worse now. We can't hear you. Mr. Alabo, I'm ending the show.
Yes, can you hear me now, Najawash?
Now you are good. That the microphone, whatever that you are using, can you throw it through your window? Throw it away, please, and talk normal. Talk to us. Thank you.
Najawash, you don't finish me today. I don't finish for your hand. Oh, make I just start on the existing protocol, I beg. Good evening, Nigerians. Najawash, let me just put one thing. One thing about President Tinubu, luck don't run out of him because he was thinking Nigeria was something as usual during those times. But because of his criminal record and the things he has done, all Nigeria are putting eyes on his administration. If you look at recent administrations, you don't see people scrutinizing, looking critical into the budget like this. But his own administration, because of who he is and the people around him. So Nigeria are keen to know how much they are spending and what they are doing regarding the money that we have. We talk about the subsidy which they remove. You ask those questions. Mr. Najawas, they are still paying subsidy. It's just that they are not transparent to Nigeria people. They are not telling us the truth. That is the problem we are having. The Nigeria government are still paying subsidy, but they are just pretending doing those things. And plus corruption and all the rest of things. Some of the money is going into their private, like Amaechi who said, that the profit is in their private pocket. That is where we are having this big problem. So I want to encourage Nigerians, because if we are talking like this, you will not understand. But if we take our time and go and study the budget, take your time. It's a big book. It will take time. Some of the criminal things, they put it at the last side of the budget. But you just be patient and read through and see how useless these our politicians they are, how corrupt they are, and the kind of money they are budgeting for things that are not relevant, while the masses are suffering. And this money will not even get. If this money they are even putting, at least they are even doing those things, those projects will still come in the next year budget. So it's a copy and paste. Then they will just do small editing, add up some things on it. So it has been a culture. That same share, they will buy that same one share every year. That one thing they have been putting in that budget has been on that budget for over 10 years. They are still repeating the same thing. So it has been a way of life. Coming back to my state, Rivers State, and what is happening between those two unfortunate governors that we missed out with them to have such people as our governor in our state, Rotimi Amaechi and Wike. These were machineries, these were boys, university boys working for top politicians, like their boys. However, they make him to go and pick ticket. He became a assembly's member. Odili made him a speaker. You can hear him talking about his student work, how he's doing. So that is who Rotimi Amaechi is. They are not people with good character. So at least one of them is a lesser devil, which is Amaechi, did a lot of, I will commend him. When he talk about human capital development, he invested on people. He trained people, he sponsored rivers people abroad to acquire knowledge and come back. When you talk of education, he built a lot of schools and they equipped those schools with computer. As I'm talking to you, that thing happened in River State before our very eyes. But as soon as this one called himself Nyesu Wike took over from him, he withdrew all the students. I'm telling you that they can do the same course in UST. But he failed to equip USC. The same thing he was talking about, the schools, he was not able to fund the school, pay teachers, employ people, train people, and maintain those facilities. He abandoned anything that has to do with human capital development. No employment for the youth throughout his tenure. He did not give anybody job, yes, apart from thugs that is employed for himself. Every project you see him carrying out is something he did a business with, doing this thing. Flyover, like Amaechi said, he does his own flyover. He does a lot of important, significant infrastructure in River State, not the business one that Nyesu Wike came to do. But however, both of them, they have useless our resources. They have taken so much from River State. That was why Amaechi could single-handedly sponsor a lot of governors in 2015 in APC and spend his money on Buhari. And because of how Tinubu and Buhari came to Port Harcourt to deceive him, that he might be the next that will take over from Buhari, and made him to put all the resources of River State into APC. So after going through those things, that is his bitterness with Tinubu because he feel he betrayed him. I swear. So yes, Umwike is on. The same thing finishing. It took so much from River State, sponsoring PDP, maintaining PDP, paying people salary, because there is no accountability for all these people. So it's River State that is suffering from these unfortunate people that we have as our governor. But however, a leader will arise in River State that all of them, even if they are not alive, their children will pay and suffer for it. We will get back all that they have stolen from us. And we hope that a new Nigeria is possible. Let us not give up. We will take this country from those corrupt leaders through the election. I've told you people, we will go to election. If we are saying we are not going to election, it means we want this criminal element to continue to take over our country. But we will go. But 2027 election is going to end at the poll because we don't have judiciary. We don't have a NIC. So we will defend the one we have at our hand. That is where we will finish it. And if we come together, we can do that. I will repeat it. Military, paramilitary agencies are not up to 1.5 million. We have over 250 million citizens in Nigeria. If 90% of them who participate, who come out for the this thing, voter registration, if at least 50% of them participate in the election, let's say 50 million people came out for election and stood in that polling unit to defend their vote, how many are the military going to pack into their van? Which prison is going to contain all of us? So it's not going to be easy for them. Thank you, Niger Wash. Let me allow you people. God bless you.
All right. I want to use the opportunity to appreciate every one of you that came into the panel today. We've come to the end of this broadcast. 4 hours almost. Yeah, we have tried our best today. It's been a long day for us. You know, it's not easy. Every one of you that came in, and God will bless you. Now, Mr. Jonathan, Black Panther, my brother, Mr. Alabo, give us a mandate. Mother Rita, the only woman in the house. God bless you all. And those of you that called into the show today, thank you so much, Mother Deborah, and our other woman who called in earlier on. I forgot your name, unfortunately, but thank you for calling in. I appreciate you all, my people. And those of you that supported the channel today, Madam Peggy Modi, thank you very much. And Madam Suberry, who super thanks us from one of our videos that we uploaded earlier on. God bless every one of you, my people. I appreciate you all, my people, on the comment section. Thank you very much, Mother, for Mommy Diaspora. Thank you very much, Mommy, for all that you do. I appreciate you always. Abu Azi, God bless you, my brother. I appreciate you always. Thank you very much, Michael Alvenamaro. It's good to have you on the show, sir. Ifo, I can see you right there. Tebzi, thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you, Mr. Johnson Emmanuel, Madam Peggy Modi, once again, Black Panther on right there. Kakun, I can see you. Thank you, Tony Africa. Ima, I can see you as well. And Golden Axe Stars, I can see you, and many, many more. And people, we've come to the end of this broadcast. Please endeavor to join us again tomorrow, 7 p.m. Nigerian time, as we continue to talk about what is affecting you and I. We are getting close to 2027, even though it looks very far to me, but I don't know how it's very close to these satanic politicians, because campaign have already stylishly started. I know 2026 will be hot on this platform.
No, this is the first time in the history of Africa that this type of thing has happened.
I don't understand. 2 years to. Hi, God. Anyway, stay glued to us. Nigeria Watch during the time of election, it dey hot here, not be small. And I think you see people like Blampata and many others, they fight, they jump, come up for screen. So
I know they for now voting, no. I know they at all.
Okay, good. Anyway, doesn't seem that these people, they are guilty or they are remorseful over their wrongdoings. Because if they are, they're supposed to be sorting it out rather than already preparing for 2027. But what do I know? We are just here to continue to do our part, bring it to your screen. We talk about it, apply our own opinionism to it. That's all we are doing here. We're not fighting anyone. We just want a better Nigeria. It's our constitutional right to demand for a better Nigeria. As we speak, nothing is better about the country. Nothing is working in the country. Let's continue to be hopeful. My people, now here we draw the curtain. Good night and bye for now.
That's right. Yes. There's power here tonight.